I was born in Toronto, but I grew up in the GTA, in the part of the GTA that has the very bad drivers.
Man. Because I know north of Steeles, they say that's...
Come on, Friday.
And this is going to sound crazy.
You're not
they said
get
it's called a Chinese highway north of Steeles in the East End.
And he's like, and he didn't get it because like, he's like, yo, some people are just trying to be interviewers and not good at being interviewers. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not an interviewer. And I don't need to be an interviewer. Let's get that first and foremost. Like, I'm a content creator. Why do you care what these random people in America think? Like, Toronto is the we are the #1 city in the world in music. You know?
Yeah.
I can be mesquite all I want, and nobody's gonna care because, you know, and nobody's gonna run up on me because it's like, you know, I'm like a mesquite. Which, by the way, if anybody has, like, please don't. I don't say that as like a.
Leave him alone.
I don't say that as like, yo, nobody's gonna do anything. Like, I know you will. Please don't. I'm mesquite, please.
You know what? Leave us alone. I'm not able to say leave him alone.
Both of us, bro.
We just content creators.
We just make videos.
Right?
We love hip hop.
Sweating because I'm like trying to figure out like why isn't it not doing the thing that I wanted to do? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to bring up the volumes and I'm like, fuck.
It's just not working.
Right? And I start panicking there in front of the guests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know them ones there?
Yeah. Nah, but they should understand, like, you know, like technical. Maybe I have a guy. Well, can't always have a guy to come in here and help you with the technical stuff.
Yeah, bro. My guy's Google. You know what I'm saying?
You just gotta.
My guy's Google. Like,
my guy's Google.
Every once in a while, I might go and hit up like, you know, a couple of sound engineers.
Yeah.
Salute to certain mans like Was. Who helps us over here at the studio, but even guys like Brown Guy Made It. You know Brown Guy Made It? The video director?
I don't think so, no.
He does enough videos in the city.
Yeah.
He's helped me with certain things on like how to use the camera or like the different settings because
Aperture,
ISO, and all that shit, bro. Like I didn't even know what that shit meant, bro.
Yeah.
All right? And then I had Read in the Street in here the other day.
Oh, yeah, I seen that one.
And I was like, yo, dude, while you're here, before we even start, show me some shit on the camera. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to like soak up knowledge from every single like creator that I meet. You know what I'm saying?
That's good though. That's good. Most OGs, they don't do that. That's what I respect about you. We'll get into it when we start the podcast.
No, I already have the recording going.
Oh, it's already going?
How
do you that's how you do it? You just
we start the conversation and I'll
do
the intro at some point, but I just like to have convos, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But bro, you gotta understand, like, the reason that I'm like that is because you as some of the younger G's, y'all know so much shit about what's happening now. So if I want to be one of these like hard-headed old heads who are like, oh, you're too young to be able to teach me shit, I won't know how to do half of the shit that I'm doing, bro.
But there's a lot of those though. Hard-headed old head, man. I met too much of those. There's too many. That's what I respect about you, fam.
Thank you, bro.
I respect that about you because, like, brother, you're one of the OGs that actually listen, you know? You actually care about like the youth. You listen to like bro, like if you, let's say I'm wilding out, I'm doing something stupid. If you message me and go like, yo, cut that shit out, I'm going to be like, all right, Friday told me to cut that shit out.
Really?
Nah, deadass. You're one of the only people that I would do that. Because like you understand, like you understand our perspective. You get it, you listen. And then, so it makes sense too. Some of these other guys, like, I don't care to though, you know what I mean?
Care.
Yeah, I would smoke one up with you, bro, but on camera, haram, bro. I can't. Not on camera. After when the cameras are off, I got you. Not on camera, haram, bro. You know what I mean?
That's funny. Okay, well let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it.
It's your boy Friday Ricky Dread here with another interview for your head top. Before we get into it, I want to give a quick salute to the sponsors, real quick. Big salute to Diamond Club. If you want delivery of some of the loudest loud anywhere in the GTA and across Canada, okay? Edibles, flour, pens, tinctures, anything you need. Hit them up on their Instagram page, DiamondClub_Canada. You could also use the code WeLoveHipHop and get yourself a little discount. You heard me? Also, if you want some of that blem, courtesy of Steamin' Hot Grabber, okay? They got different grabber shakers. You can get the grabber, or you could just get the full grabber pieces. Hit them up on their Instagram page if you want delivery, Steamin' Hot Grabber, and you can also use the code We Love Hip Hop. Last but not least, I got a bag here of that Only Loud. They got legacy blends under their umbrella, all different types of legacy blends, and they have their own strains that are fire. All right, they got delivery within same day in the GTA and within Ottawa, and they also have delivery across Canada. Hit them up on their website, onlyloud.ca, or you can hit them up on their Instagram page, Only Loud Canada. You heard me.
That was impressive, man. You got that down.
Thank you. I've been doing this, man.
You've been doing this a long time, fam.
But I've been watching you, bro, and you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
One of the first things that I've seen you on, and I think I'm a little bit late to the party, is watching the Moula first interview.
If that was a crash out, they would have sent those people to jail. Because they're not like me.
You're not like on any drugs, are you?
Hell, I never took drugs in my life.
Can I just see what's
I never
inside
took
that?
drugs in my life.
You got nothing in your pocket. You got nothing in your pocket.
But from there, I started doing my research, and I said, you know what? I got to get this gentleman on the show. So with no further ado, I would like to welcome your true captain to the motherfucking building.
Appreciate it. Like, nobody's doing it out here like y'all, bro. Dead ass. And that's not a good thing. So once again, I, the black man, Mr. Chocolate Rain himself, will be reacting to some of the most racist TV moments. Thank you for having me, bro.
Thank you, brother.
I'm a big fan of We Love Hip Hop. I'm a big fan of what you do here.
No, thank you, brother.
This is a pleasure for me as much as it's a pleasure for you.
No, thank you, man. And even the name, Your True Captain, like, where you even get that name in the first place?
Okay. So that's a story.
Yes.
That's a story. You want me to get into that?
We podding today, bro.
Okay. So, well, one, it's because like I'm Somali, so like the pirate, like Somali pirates, right? So you can kind of put it together. You're a true captain.
Okay.
It's kind of like racist, but you know, it's you know, but and then also there's this anime that I watched called One Piece.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of it. So like there's different animes, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto. There's this one show called One Piece, and coincidentally, it's about pirates. So that was one of my favorite shows growing up. So then I was like, okay, how can I make that a name? Like I always wanted a name, like a nickname related to like something related to pirates or something like that.
Yeah.
I was in 11th grade, and this is funny. I was in 11th grade, some 11th grade sociology class. And then at the time, I think the movie it's been out for a couple of years, but it was a movie called Captain Phillips. Okay. And so Captain Phillips, for anybody that does not know, is about a captain who's taking a shipping vessel off the coast of Somalia to Mombasa for aid in Africa. And along that coast, there's a Somali pirates.
Right. So
the movie, it follows a real life story. Like this really happened. And now he's putting on the shades. I was wondering where the shades were at. Because it's like, yo, you always have shades. Everybody in the studio always has shades, fam.
These are my tints, they're not my shades.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Keep going.
Okay. So it's a real life story. And then these pirates pretty much hijacked this shipping tanker. Captain Phillips, the shipping tanker. And then there was a famous quote called where the pirate boarded the ship and he said, "I'm the captain now." So everybody in my school would literally come up to me and go like, "I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now." It got so annoying because whenever they saw me, it was just like, "I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now." Bro, when are you going to take a ship? You know what I mean?
Hold on. So they were...
Yeah.
In your school, they were being racist to you on some Somali shit?
Yeah, but it's like everybody was kind of like poking fun at everybody. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like the Asian kids, like you would make fun of like you would say like, "Yo, where's your rice hat?" The Indian kids, you make fun of them, like, "Yo, you gonna eat curry today for dinner?" or whatever and then the Somali, which I was one of the only Somali kids, they would come up to me and say that. So you know, eventually, I think some kid came up to me and he was like, "Yo, bro, you're my true captain." I was like, "Yo, that has a nice ring to it."
It does.
So I went online and I searched up if anybody took the name. Nobody took the name on YouTube.
Right.
Nobody took the name on... Well, actually, somebody took the name on Twitter. So then I had to go at your real captain on Twitter. Nobody took the name on Instagram and everything else. Only Twitter, somebody took the name. So I was like, okay, let me just go with that, you know? And then I didn't anticipate it for it to be like as big as it is now, but.
So at that time, you didn't have a YouTube channel?
Nah, I just registered, like, you know how like people just make a YouTube account
just
to watch videos?
Yeah.
So I just made my name, that was just my name that I would go by. Just
Interesting.
For my YouTube account, yeah.
So what about the gaming? You this is all at 11 years old that you came up with this?
No, this was like when I was like about 16.
Okay.
But I had no intention of being like a YouTube, like a content creator or anything like that until like I graduated, I think about 18, 19 years old.
So when did you start gaming?
Like, like content gaming or just gaming in general?
No, like just getting interested in video games, period.
Probably like 4 or 5 years old, maybe.
Okay.
Like by 4 or 5 years old, bro, I was playing like Call of Duty.
Really?
I was playing 2K, FIFA. FIFA was the big game that I was addicted to FIFA. Fam. I spent all my Eid money on Ultimate Team.
Wow.
You know, like when we get money for Eid. I don't know if you know. But
Yeah,
like,
no, I know.
During Eid, like we get money
Yeah.
from our parents and uncles and stuff like that. I would cash all of that out on Ultimate Team. Even when I got my first job, the whole check went to Ultimate Team opening pack. Like I was a FIFA addict, you know?
Listen, this is happening. Are your parents cool with you being like a video game addict?
Nah. I mean, I have African parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
So it's like I had African parents. So like the way that they operate is like focus on your studies and read your Quran and it's that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So when they see me playing all these games, especially some of these violent games,
like Call of Duty.
I was playing GTA. One time I was playing GTA and I was in the strip club. My mom walked in and she like started cussing me out. Went to the mosque immediately. Oh my God, it was a bad day, bro. It was a bad day. And I had to explain to her like, this is just a game.
It's just a game.
And then she's like, show me. So then I went on the game and I'm like showing her what you do. Like I'm stealing cars, I'm shooting people. And then she's like, like she's getting pissed off at me, you know? Yeah, so, you know, but my love for gaming has always been there since I was a kid. Unfortunately, now that I'm just so busy, I can't really play game. Like, fam, I can't remember the last time I played. It's gotta been like, must have been like months now.
Really?
You know, since I've been able to like pick up my PS5 controller and just like play games, you know? Because I'm just so busy like doing stuff, you know?
This man said months. You made me and PS5.
What's wrong with PS5?
Because you got the newest shit. It's not that long, bro.
No, but like I have it, but like I can't play it.
No, you've evolved from just gaming content to different things.
Yeah.
But even before we get into some of the content, you know, you said that you're one of the only Somali kids in your school. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up. Are you gonna make fun of me?
No.
Okay, so I was born in Toronto, but I grew up in the GTA, in the part of the GTA that has the very bad drivers.
Markham?
Nah, not Markham.
Oh, man. Because I know
Come on Friday.
north of Steeles,
Come on
they
Friday.
say that's...
Come on Friday.
And this is going to sound crazy.
You're not
they said
gonna
it's
get
called a
canceled,
Chinese highway north of Steeles in the East End. That's why the insurance rates are supposed to be higher over there. Okay. This is just something I heard.
Yeah.
Brampton?
Brampton. Yeah, I grew up in Brampton. You know.
It's not funny. Brampton is not a funny place, bro. You can get gurked out there, bro.
Listen, when I was in Brampton, it was a very funny place, bro. Like it was a very funny place because like you have a lot of people that you can tell are very privileged. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm not from the trenches or anything like that. Like I spent the first 6 years of my life, like I was born in Toronto.
Yeah.
And I spent the first 6 years of my life like in Dixon and stuff like that. But like, I never, like I realized that I'm in a very privileged position to have left a like very scary environment like that.
Yeah.
And you know, that's why I don't like, you don't see me online doing any like, I'm very authentic to myself.
Yes.
You don't see me online talking street shit, doing this. Like I don't do none of that stuff because that's not me. I have more in line with going and shopping on the weekends with my dad at Costco than hearing gunshots in my backyard.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and lie and pretend like, oh, I'm from this, I'm from that. A lot of people want to do that. So in Brampton, it's funny because a lot of people are in privileged, well, pretty much everybody, a lot of people, most people are in privileged positions like that, but they want to pretend like they're hood.
wanna
Like,
be
how are
fake
you gonna
gangsters.
pretend like you're from the like straight trenches of Toronto?
Yeah.
And you live in like a big $1 million house. It never made sense to me.
Yeah.
I went to school with a lot of those people. I met a lot of those people. I don't know. That's kind of funny. That's the only thing about Brampton that's kind of funny, you know?
You know, it's weird that you say that, and I'm glad that you're being super candid. And you can be, because I interview mad rappers, right? And I feel that sometimes being part of like the rapping part of the hip hop community causes you to have to say certain things that you're not even about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I'm interviewing a rapper that might come from like Durham or Brampton or different places that are outside of like the actual Toronto, they might still have to put up that front that like, yo, I'm hard, you know, I'm sliding in my music. Don't worry about it. I'm still hard. You don't have to do that. You're a content creator. And this is what I like interviewing content creators. You don't have to put up no fucking front, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because, yo, I look at some of these guys, and no disrespect, I'm not going to name no names, and no disrespect to anybody. Like, everybody's doing what they have to do.
And before you say that, some guys are really real. So we're not getting that twisted.
I know that. I know some of them personally.
Me too.
I'm friends with a lot of them personally. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what it is. But to me, and I joke about with them all the time, like, yo, bro, like, I'm just glad I'm just a YouTuber and I make videos, because, yo, going on the internet and like doing all this shit, bro, that must be exhausting, bro.
Yes.
Like, bro, I couldn't imagine, like, I couldn't imagine, like, I came here by myself. I couldn't imagine how much times niggas come in here with like 12 guys sitting everywhere and
There's
shit like
no
that.
balaclavas in the building.
Yeah. So it's like, I can't imagine, like I tell them all the time, like, yo, bro, I respect what you do, and like, you're a very like fearful man.
Yeah.
And I respect that about you. But yo, it must be exhausting having to keep that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like, not even just like gang shit. Even like, you ever thought about like fucking Kim Jong-un, like dictators and shit like that? Bro, it must be exhausting having to like keep brainwashing all those people to follow, you know, what you think. Not say that the rappers are doing that. I know a lot of the rappers, I'm friends with a lot of them, they're like really about what they're about, you know? But it must be exhausting having to like constantly remind people like, yo, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Do not cross me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to do that, you know?
Yeah.
I can be miskeen all I want and nobody's gonna care, because, you know, and nobody's gonna run up on me because it's like, you know, I'm like a miskeen. Which, by the way, if anybody has, like, please don't. I don't say that as like a...
Leave them alone.
I don't say that as like, yo, nobody's gonna do anything. Like, I know you will. Please don't. I'm miskeen, please.
You know what? Leave us alone. I'm not able to say leave
Both
him
of
alone.
us, bro.
We just content creators.
We just make videos.
Right? I know I've come from a different background. I used to be in the streets, but I'm just making content now. Leave us alone.
You turned over a new leaf.
Exactly. One of the things that I seen jump your whole YouTube career off, like really, is the Jump Force videos.
Let's get started. So a lot of stuff's been happening in terms of Jump Force news in the past week, and I've covered most of those during the live stream. So if you guys haven't checked out the live streams for this week, make sure you guys go ahead and check those out.
Damn, you know about... Yo, you do your research.
I try.
God damn, bro. I respect it. Yeah.
Right? So Jump Force is a video game, right?
Yeah.
So you were one of those YouTubers that used to just... And I watched some of these guys like Sensitive Society and different people who you're just doing commentary with the video game playing.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that.
So I used to... Okay, so when it comes to YouTube, it's like you have to kind of, especially when you're small, and I think you understand this too, you have to kind of niche your content.
Yes.
So what that means is that YouTube, there's an incentive for you to make certain content curated to a certain demographic. That way, if you curate your content that way, the people who are interested in that certain content, since you've made other videos on that content, they're more likely to watch those other videos, more ad revenue for YouTube, more ad revenue for you. So this is how the algorithm works, essentially. So you understand this because you cover a lot of hip hop content.
Yes.
Specifically hip hop content in Toronto.
Yes.
So if somebody watches a video about, let's say, top 5, right? And they're interested in the video of top 5. If there's another video about top 5 or another video about, let's say, another Toronto rapper, like Moula first, people are going to be interested in that because that is a specific niche that you've carved for yourself.
Yes.
Toronto hip hop. So that's kind of how it started with the whole like Jump Force thing. I was thinking to myself, like, what do I like? What do I enjoy? And obviously, like, I enjoyed like animes and stuff like that, and I enjoyed video games. So I was like, yo, let me combine it. There's this game coming out called Jump Force, where it's like all the anime characters, you know, Goku, Vegeta, Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah.
And they're all like fighting. So I was like, okay, let me make videos on that because I was really interested in it. But when the game came out, the game was like really bad, like it was shit.
Right.
Like the game wasn't good. So then I had to kind of go back to the drawing board and say to myself, like, okay, what else do I like? And then I had to kind of carve myself out some more. But I didn't think you would go that far back, fam. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's really, wow. That's like some Nardwar shit you just pulled on me, bro.
Listen, Nardwar, I'm coming for your spot, bro.
Yo, that's some straight Nardwar shit. Yo, tell me what else you know.
No, well, the thing is, like, this shit interests me because like I said, I watch different YouTube creators who do commentary with the video game playing.
Yeah.
And like I watch a lot of their videos.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm always interested in what game is it that makes it, let me just use this for my commentary. Like what makes the choice of what game you're gonna choose to do the commentary?
I think like, well, one, it has to be a game that you're interested in recording.
Yes.
And two, it has to be something that's like really vibrant, something that people can watch. Because the whole idea of commentary, and this is why commentary is so easy on YouTube, is that the videos that I'm making now are like a large scale productions.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen them. Like they take weeks to produce. Me and my team got to take weeks just to produce one video.
Really?
Yeah. There's like the video that we just made, where we're going on Omegle and catching like all these like, you know,
the
people that are,
Gracist,
Bro, listen.
We decided that we don't even want to segregate.
You don't want to
again.
segregate
We're just gonna
anymore.
Send you back
You're
to...
just gonna send me back.
Fuck the Bloods and fuck the Crips. Come find me on
hate crime and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That took, I want to say, a week, just a solid week of recording, of just me going on there and just recording, like getting like 30-minute recording sessions, hour recording sessions.
Yeah.
Finding some of these people. Or just finding people in general. And then it took like another solid week and a half to 2 weeks of just like editing, building narratives and editing, like, you know what I mean? Creating a storyline in the editing, you know, doing everything, like piecing everything together in a certain way that creates, like makes it flow really well.
Yeah.
To incentivize retention, like high retention on the video, you know? So it's like it, and then now I'm like, I put it out and now I'm rolling out the video. So it's almost like, the videos that I make now are, it's almost like projects. It's like putting out an album. And then like you have to kind of roll it out to everybody so that they can see it, right?
Right.
Before, when I was making like those commentary videos, I didn't have my face. And there was a reasons why I did it too.
Yeah.
Because I was in school, like I was in university.
You couldn't show your face.
And then in university, like they pretty much told me, they were like, yo, you can't, they sent me an email, right? Multiple emails actually. I say, yo, you can't, like we know what you're doing. I don't know how they found out, but they were like,
hold on, what do you mean what you're doing? Like it makes it sound like you're doing something illegal.
I think it's because like the thing, like, because when I was doing commentary, I wasn't like I would swear, I would say nigga, you know, I would like crack jokes.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when I was a kid, like I was a very unfiltered kid. You know?
Yeah.
Like the internet back then was not like how it is now. You could be a lot more unfiltered.
That's facts.
And people would not like, you know? So I would say certain words and like, now you can't say those words. I think you understand what I mean. You don't see that yellow icon on your thing, right?
We'll talk about that later, but I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so
okay, so because of some of the content that might be deemed a little bit too wild for them, hide your face at the time when you're in school.
Yeah, so they pretty much told me, the schools, like, because I went to York. York sent me multiple emails when my channel started like doing its thing. This is probably around like 25,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And they I don't know how they found out, but they told me, they're like, listen, we see what you're doing. But they didn't really have a problem with it because I wasn't like on campus making a ruckus. I wasn't doing anything. I was just doing my thing, you know? So like, okay, but you cannot, like, we advise you to just not show your face and don't talk about the school.
Wow.
And I said, okay, whatever, you know? I think your age had a similar thing. All the schools do this. So then it got to a point where the school was like, okay, then I started making, then I was like, I was getting to the point in York where I was like in my third year, fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting up there. And then they were like telling me, they were like, okay, I started doing videos of my face. I started not caring because I was like, okay, whatever. I'm almost about to graduate. Like, what are they gonna do? Kick me
And
out?
you're probably making some money on YouTube.
And I was, yeah. This was around the time, like, this is pandemic.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
you're definitely making some
So
money.
Friday, this was pandemic, like, want to say April.
Yeah,
April
and you're not going
2020.
on campus neither.
So I'm not going on campus.
Yeah.
And I started making videos of my face. And because I was like, what are they gonna do? Sue me? Like, sue me. Like, you know, and I started making, this is when I started making, like, I didn't have my job. Like, I quit my job. I was like making videos full time while I was like doing my online school. And they sent me another email around May time. And they said, yo, cut that out.
Oh, shit.
To put, and then I was like, I didn't really care.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Cut what out specifically? Making the videos or putting your face on the videos?
They wanted me to like not, if they wanted me to like not show my face, and if like, or they wanted me to like be less vulgar because I'm kind of representing the school. So, and they were like, if you're gonna do videos, like do some more like different kind of videos. And they're giving me examples.
They're trying to manage
and they're
you
giving
now.
me examples of other people doing videos. They're like, oh, look, Superwoman went to our school and look at the videos she's making. Why don't you do that? And I was like, they put me on a call with some counselor.
Yo, that's
telling
so
me, I'm like, what's going on with this, fam? Like, what are you talking about, you know? So I was like, okay, whatever. Then September comes, they sent me a final email. They're like, yo, listen, you didn't listen to us. And I think I posted it too. They said, yo, you're not listening to us. We're concerned about this channel, Your True Cap, because at that time it was getting bigger. It was almost at 100,000. And they're like, yo, we don't like this. We want to meet with you and discuss this in person.
Wow.
Because like you're going to our school, you're an undergraduate student. We appreciate you doing like your entrepreneurial thing on the side, but
your little YouTube channel.
Yeah, but we want you to understand what we expect from you. So then I was like, okay, whatever. You know, because they pretty much started threatening me.
Yeah.
So I went in there as a bunch of old white people, man. Like, you know what I mean? In like a room just like this. It's like a conference room. And they're pretty much, I walk in there. They're all dressed up. I didn't know I had to dress up. I just walked in with a hoodie, flip-flops. And they were just like, okay, this is what we're going to expect of you. Da, da, da. And then I couldn't talk about it for like, till I graduated. And then I graduated and then, you know, but like, it was a very hectic, when I was in school, it was a very hectic, I'm glad I'm done.
Yeah.
Because it was it was a headache dealing with the school and dealing with the channel and stuff like that. There was several times where I was like, I have to pick a side, you know?
That's so crazy to me that one, the school was putting this much pressure on you.
Yeah.
And then they had the like audacity to like try to give you some content
suggestions.
Content suggestions, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they're trying to turn into the record label. Like maybe you should put out some nicer songs.
Yeah, it was like I didn't understand it. I was like, cause like this is a school that like preached me to be my authentic self and me to do my authentic. So I found it funny that it's like, okay, you're preaching all of these things, but then I'm doing what is my passion.
Yeah.
Which at the time was like commentary and gaming and stuff like that. And it's an issue. And it wasn't even like I was doing crazy, like it wasn't like I'm like doing crazy videos like with Vital, like catching like predators and that kind of stuff. Like I wasn't even doing that kind of stuff. I was just doing my own thing. But I don't know. Now I feel like if I was there, they'd be more open to it.
You know what I think it is too? And we'll get off this topic, but it's just such an interesting topic to me. I think they got threatened by the fact that your entrepreneurialism is going to take over their scholastic education. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Like, if this guy starts setting a trend for just, you know, becoming an entrepreneur, doing his own YouTube channel, doing content creation, stuff like that, and he doesn't need to get the regular 9-to-5 that the diploma is going to be able to provide, what did he need us for? This is going to start looking bad on other students or, you know, future students that might want to enroll. They're looking at your true captain and they're like, yo, he got it popping on YouTube when he was at York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you didn't graduate and you just quit and just kept on going, it would have been worse.
Oh yeah, it would have sent a crazy message.
Yeah. So they need to be like, yo, mute that or bring that down a little bit and show more of the, hey, you know, I'm at York, I'm a student.
Yeah.
You know, especially-
No, they actually offered, like, they told me, like, I remember the person in charge of like the social media. They came to me and they were like, listen, we see what you're doing. We would like for you to kind of be in charge of that. So they offered me that. They told me, they were like, yo, do you want to be in, because we see, you know, what you're doing with your channel. Why don't you just bring that? And we'll pay, they were going to pay me and everything.
You could have worked for Vibe 105 over there.
Yeah, but I wanted to focus on my own thing. Yeah. I think that low-key was kind of what ticked them off. They were like, who does this kid think he is? So, yeah, I mean, shout out to York, man. Like, you guys are, you know, doing your thing, but that was
party school.
Yeah, that was a pretty shitty experience that I went through when it came to. But I'm glad everything, you know, came out the way it did, and you know,
everything happened the way it's supposed to.
Everything happened the way it's supposed to, exactly.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, you continue into your YouTube journey, and in May 2020, you uploaded Black Guys React to Racist TV Moments.
I don't get to anybody.
What's up, boss? How you doing? Yeah. What's good in the hood? Just holding it down, trying to take care of business. Keep it up, my nigga. Oh! My nigga.
The writers in the back, I don't know what the they were thinking.
Boom.
You really did your research.
Fam.
Yeah, you really did your research, and I really appreciate it. Wow. That's good. You know the date, too.
Hey,
Nardwar. Hey, Nardwar, bro. Yeah, no, I did.
To Nardwar, man.
Yeah, shout out to Nardwar. But yeah, man, that was, I think that was the first video that I made that really hit the stratosphere. Like, that was the first video where it was like, it just took off. Like, everybody started posting it. Everybody found it funny. But then I also got those comments where it's like, he doesn't look black. You know?
Yeah.
There was a bunch of people that are like, yo, he doesn't even look black. And he's saying black. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was like really the first video that I uploaded that really like people, I guess it put me in the limelight. You know? Because before, I didn't even have a video that cracked a mill before that.
Right.
That was the first video I uploaded that kind of cracked the mill. And in like 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
So it really like hit the stratosphere, you know? And all of a sudden now it's like, I wake up one morning and all of a sudden it's like, this video's getting like 30K views an hour. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? There's all these blue checkmark people like texting me, messaging me, going like, yo, bro, this is amazing. Like, where'd you come from? And it was a surreal experience. Now, if it happens now, it probably isn't like as, I'm more conditioned to it. But back then when I was kind of like first getting my buzz, and around then I had about like, maybe like 150K.
Okay.
But
so you already had one plaque.
Yeah, I already had one plaque. But I had 150K, but I wasn't like, I don't think I was 30. That was the first time where it's like I hit the mainstream. And I got out of the whole commentary thing.
Yeah.
I got more into the mainstream reaction kind of realm. I started bonding with a lot of people. I started making friends with a lot of the big creators that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
This is the first time where like I'm in contact with them. Like we're talking like
drop some names, man.
We're talking like Rage, Dante, right? Afro Senju. These are guys that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
And then they're watching my stuff saying like, yo, this is great, you know? So it was a surreal like experience to have that happen, you know? Because that doesn't happen for everybody. Some people do YouTube for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And they don't go anywhere. And like what I was happy about was the fact that like this was the first time that like not the first time, but this was a time where like I really invested myself into something and I'm now seeing the fruits of my labor.
Yeah.
Because before then it was like, I don't know if this is going to pan out. My parents are like, yo, man, like this is not, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then like, this was the first time where it's like, wow, like all of this, like it was worth it. Everything was worth it. Those were the first moment was when I first hit 100,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second moment was that when I got
video.
that video that really, you know, I'm pretty sure, like, do you feel the same way in terms of like content? Like, do you sometimes, because sometimes as a content creator, you can really doubt yourself.
Yeah.
You know, do you ever get those feelings?
I do. And then, you know, the other day we had a video that just went like 120,000 in like no time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had other videos that done 100,000 plus, you know, a few 100,000.
Yeah, you've been doing this for a while.
But like when I got another one of those, I kind of got that buzz again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like okay. And then you start refreshing. I'm sure like when you first had that first video that hit 1 million and you started seeing the numbers go up, you start refreshing like, yo, what the hell?
Yo, what's going on?
It's like a lottery spin.
Like you think it's like a at first I thought it was like a glitch.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. Now it's like, if it happened, now I'm at a point in my life where, and my career where it's like, if something goes viral, it's like, okay, like something that I do goes viral. It's like, okay, that's cool. You know, that's cool. But now I'm at a point in my life where like, I'm really invested in making I want to be number one.
Yeah.
Put it like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the best from Toronto. I don't want to be the biggest YouTuber, the best YouTuber from Toronto, right? Even though that's really hard to do. Because there's a lot of big names. Like we got Agent, Superwoman, right? For Y'all Entertainment, right? So there's a lot of big people. But I don't just want to be the biggest from Toronto. Like I want to be the biggest period.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be the number one period. And so now I'm at the point where that's my goal. But the only way to be able to do that is to make the best kind of content.
Yeah.
Right. And that's another reason why I stopped doing commentary kind of stuff, because I realized that like 2 years ago, it's like, I want to be the best. Okay. Is this content going to get people to realize me as like the best? No, I don't think so. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is the kind of content that's just like people will watch it when they're like on their downtime. But if they want to watch something that's like kind of like a production, like a movie, that's kind of the vibe that I want to go for now. And that's the kind of stuff that people are going to be like, wow. You know what I mean?
You stand out.
One, it's going to be inspiring. And two, it's going to be like, wow, this person really like deserves his flowers.
Yeah.
You know? And and I think when you watch the stuff that I'm making now, you really get that feel of like, wow, this is like production quality stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And I work on it. My team works on it. I have a small team of guys that, you know, help me work on content and stuff like that. And obviously I do some stuff too. Like I don't just lay off the work to all of them and make them do it. There's some points of videos that I edit, you know, that I direct, right? But that's kind of the place that I'm at now. It's like creating the best. And I think this year we've definitely made like some of the best content, both streaming wise, like during my streams and during like my videos. I think it's some of the best content that I've made, period, this year alone, you know?
Dope.
And I think if you like, and shout out to Real Toronto News.
Salute.
And Keep6ixSolid, because like they post my stuff. And so yeah, I feel like if you watch some of those clips that they've posted and stuff like that, and shout out to those guys that have been doing that, you can really see like how far I've come from like the beginning to like now, especially like this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you look at some of the stuff that I've done this year. So yeah, man.
When did you decide like to go from just doing everything yourself to relinquishing some of those responsibilities and saying, you know what, let me get some team members on this, man?
I think like a time period or like my mindset wise?
Like a time period in the content. Like at what point in the content were you like, you know, let me start getting some people to help me with this?
I think
man.
about like 2 to 2.5 years ago. That's when I started. Like I had a small team of like 3 guys.
Okay.
Me and 2 other people.
Right.
And then over time that we had to grow that. So that grew. But like about 2.5 years ago when I realized like this is around like when I first uploaded the first Black Guy Reacts to whatever.
Yeah.
That was when I realized like, okay, 1, I don't want to be in this small little niche anymore. 2, I'm big enough, because around that time I had almost like 200,000 subscribers.
Right.
So now I'm big enough to be able to like not just be centralized in this one niche.
Yeah.
I can kind of make other things and people can kind of like it or they don't like it, but it's gonna get something is gonna happen regardless. Whether it doesn't, like this, I'm not gonna upload this video, it's gonna get 50 views.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like when I was smaller, that was a reality.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't wanna, the worst thing that you wanna do, and this is like a key for all of the YouTubers watching, if there's anybody that is an aspiring YouTuber, when you have a really good idea, the worst thing that you can do is upload it at the wrong time. Sometimes you can have like a really like out of the ballpark idea that nobody's done.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time when it comes to like making content nowadays, it's a timing thing. It's a timing thing. It's not really like, first of all, it's not about how talented you are. I think you know this.
Yeah.
Like the game, like the content game, and not even just the content game, just the like in terms of music, just media. It is more so about like how much kind of other things can you bring to attract, how many it's like antics.
Yeah. And
Right?
packaging.
So the way that you go about producing content nowadays is making sure your timing is on point. So like if you are a small YouTuber but you have this knockout idea, sometimes it's not a good idea to like upload that content when you're small. Sometimes you can sit on that. There's been times where I've sat on stuff for years to be able to finally have the opportunity to be like, okay, now I can finally do this.
Yeah.
But if you kind of do it when you're too small and it's such a good idea, but nobody can see it because you don't have the resources, you don't have the algorithm. Like now, like these big hit ideas that I've been having for years, I can kind of pump them out now.
Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of like Mr. Beast, how he has all these ideas in his head and he can just kind of pump it up because he has the money, the resources, right? But before, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the resources.
Yeah.
If the video got copywritten, I didn't have like my rep to kind of handle that, right? And the last thing you want to do is get sued, right? I didn't have my YouTube rep to help me like algorithmically push this thing, like all of that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Now you have all of these resources to be able to help you do those things. But back then you didn't. So sometimes it's really important it really is a timing thing. Sometimes it's very important to sit on certain ideas that are really big, wait for the right time. And that's kind of what we did also with me and Keep6ixSolid with the Keeping It Solid, the show that we have now.
Pointing at a bulletin.
Can you tell them to sit down? Can you tell them to sit down?
Or a chalkboard. Okay? They're gonna talk about me.
Okay.
Historically.
Okay. You have a very menacing posture. Like there's we had this idea for it, and you can ask him. We had this idea for like a solid year and a half before we finally decided to put it together.
Yeah.
Right? And then we put all the groundwork. We created the lore for the show, like the costume that I would wear. Like when I went in there, like I don't know if you watched the episode, like
the one is the first episode, the one with you and Moula?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're working on the second one.
Okay.
But the first episode with me and Moula, like I'm dressed in a turtleneck. I got the dress pants. The whole idea of the show is like I'm this. I think we explain. Can I explain to you like the lore and everything?
Yeah. I would love that.
Or do you have like other questions?
No, that's one of my questions. I actually was just gonna circle back to it. So yeah, please break that down to me. And even like some of that behind the scenes, like man was like he spit at the picture and all type of shit. Like that was crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, and shout out to Keep6ixSolid. That's my boy.
Yeah, salute.
He's held me down for all these years. So we had this show planned for like a solid year and a half. The whole premise of the show was like, Toronto is a very dark city. It reminds me of like Gotham.
Yes.
Not just the weather, but just the people.
Yeah.
People are very dark and I don't blame them. Eglinton West has been under construction since I was born. I would be depressed too if I walked outside my window and I see this construction for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So from what I see, a lot of people take satisfaction and entertainment from Toronto artists and creators going on the internet and talking about their dead ops and talking about smoking on this, smoking on that. I think a lot of that is very like, if those guys want to do it, those guys want to do it. I don't come from that life, so I can't tell those guys what to do. But I wanted an idea of Toronto to be not just that. I wanted people to be able to enjoy and laugh at something that wasn't just like, yo, I'm smoking on this and I'm smoking on that.
Yeah.
So the idea of the show was to be able to take the artists from our city, right, that are very popular, and be able to show the showmanship, the comedy, right, how eccentric they are, right? And for some of the guys in the city or from our city, a lot of them don't even like to do interviews. Like, think like Pressa. He's kind of like a very mysterious guy. Like, he doesn't really, like, he doesn't do interviews. He doesn't like, you know what I mean? Like, and so it will be amazing to get an episode with like Pressa to really show the comedy. Yeah. Like the type of person he is, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you listen to his songs and he's talking about all these things, right? But who is Pressa as a person? Who are these artists as a person? Yeah. And that's kind of we can show the showmanship and the comedy from that perspective. That's not just them smoking on this and smoking on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that was the whole perspective. That was the whole idea of the show. And we were like, okay, this is what we want to do. Like, this is what me and Keep6ixSolid, we're talking about it. Like, we're calling each other. Because we would literally call each other at night. We talk about it for hours. Yeah. And we was like, okay, this is what we want to do. Because this is a genuine problem in Toronto. Like, people they're only finding enjoyment out of like violence.
Yeah, crash out shit.
What can we do where like that's not the case? And even if it is the case, it's in a nice controlled environment where like people can, like, nobody's getting hurt. Yeah. So we're like, okay, how do we go about doing it? So what was popular at the time and even now is like an interview style. Because like, yeah, we could do like a whole production kind of reality show, but like that takes a lot of money, time, resources. Yeah. What's something that we can do that like we can get it off the ground? That somebody, like, people will be down for an interview just like this. Yeah. So what we did was we masked the show as like, this is a production show. It has a script, like it has everything. Yeah. Right? We're in a production studio. It has a script and all that, right? I have like a business attire that I'm wearing. Wardrobe, yeah. We have people that help us with wardrobe, all that, producers, all that stuff, right? Yeah. But we masked it as like an interview. And so the whole idea of the show was like, you know, you have this guy who's a black guy, right? I'm black. But he's very whitewashed. Yeah. Right? And he comes off very whitewashed because the lore that we came up with was like, okay, there's this guy named Sammy. Okay, that's the character's name. He was born in like Rexdale. So he's born in the hood. But his parents abandoned him and he grew up in like Oakville. So he was raised in Oakville at a very young age. Since a very young age. Right. So he grew up with a white family in Oakville. And now he's gotten older and now he wants to learn about his roots. He wants to learn about the hood. He wants to learn about, you know, music, the music that comes out of there and all that stuff. So the way that he goes about it is he brings these rappers. And he from different trenches in Toronto, and he interviews them and brings them on. And that was kind of the lore that we went behind the show. And then that was sort of like, wow, that sounds like a really good idea. I think we explained it in the first episode as well, briefly. And so that's kind of why you get that comedic dynamic of like a real hood street rapper that comes from the trenches. But then you have this guy who doesn't understand it. He's going to do things like he's going to touch you here. You got anything in your pocket? And then the guy, and then he's going to be like, yo, we don't do that where I'm from. Like, you know what I mean? You don't reach into somebody's pocket, you know? Yeah. And so they get really, everything that I do is scripted, but nothing that the artists do is scripted. Like everything that they do is like their own authentic. Yeah. Because a lot of them can be showmen. Some of them that like Moula, for example, for the first episode of Moula First, I knew going into that episode, he's a showman. So I didn't have to make that guy a script. Yeah. Moula. That guy just knows how to, like, that guy is, bro, I think he's a better showman than, well, let me not say that because he makes great music as well, in my personal opinion. He makes phenomenal music. I'm a big Moula First fan. But he's just as good of a showman as he is a rapper.
Yeah.
Like that guy is, and I think you could say the same as like for other guys like Five. They do a very good job. Like they're such good showmen.
Yeah.
I feel like they could be like phenomenal actors.
Yeah, but you said, Moula first, top 5. I feel like the list after, I don't know, do you have any more names you could throw in that list of like entertaining Toronto rappers?
Boondog is a very entertaining.
Boondog
is very entertaining. And I feel like some, like even like people like Dom Valley, like some of these guys are very like entertaining.
Dom Valley, yeah.
And they have very eccentric personalities, but they only show them from time to time. Top 5 is one of those, and Top 5 is really funny. He's one of those guys that is like, he's kind of always showing it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I feel like some of these guys get tired. They don't want to do that all the time,
Yeah.
They'd rather do it when they're like rolling a project out or,
No, but you see why I asked you that? Because the list is short of artists in the city who are willing to like show out and entertain. Like Moula first, perfect example. We've done multiple interviews with Moula. Moula has given me ideas of how he wants to come into the interview. Like we had an interview where he came in like a yellow tracksuit and had like a Jerry curl wig on. And we had like an NBA backdrop in the studio, okay? Yeah. He's the one who was like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. And I was like, all right, cool. And I just rolled with it. I put on a suit and you know what I'm saying?
I gotta watch that interview.
It was like I pretended to be like a commentator or like a commentator just at a press conference. I had the rest of the team in there. I edited in like people flashing cameras and shit.
Yeah.
But it was like he was a showman that was able to, meet the demand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, top 5 definitely can do that too. But I feel like we don't have a lot of people in our city who are willing to like really be as entertaining as, we need them to be. Not just us, like the audience needs them to be. Man.
Yeah. Do you think that that's a bad thing that the artists they're not showmen like that? Like because there could be a argument that, for example, like an artist like Pyrex. Shout out to Pyrex.
Salute.
I'm a big fan of Pyrex as well.
Me too.
But that guy there's literally no antics to that guy. Just great music.
Super reserved.
Super reserved guy. Even though like he comes from a life, we all know. You could just look at that guy and know. Yeah. Right? But he's super reserved and just makes bangers. That's all he does.
Yeah.
He will make a banger. He'll promote it. Like that thing that he did with Pilla B, that new track that he did with him and Pilla B, that summer anthem. Fire. But he's not going to do any antics to promote it or anything like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's just going to stick to making great music, promote his clothing, promote his side businesses, that kind of stuff. Do a couple interviews like this.
Yeah.
When he's rolling out his project.
Yeah.
And then that's about it, Yeah.
And
he kind of lets his music speak for itself. So there could be an argument that you just making great music, some people just want great music. I think there's a lot of people in Toronto that just like they don't like. I think top 5 is hilarious. I think Moula is hilarious. I'm just like you. I think that our artists should be showmen.
Yeah,
that's why we're kind of making this show to really broadcast like how amazing and funny some of these guys are. Even though like this is what they're talking about in their music, that's not all. There's more depth to them than that.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of people who would also argue and say, well, I just want good music. I don't really care about the antics.
No, fam. Even those people, I think, that would just want good music.
Yeah.
They want to be entertained as well. As long as it's not like the person's crashing out or saying something super negative, like those specific people.
Yeah.
The other ones just want the fuckery.
Yeah, of course.
Right? But like the people who are like the real music fans, I don't think they don't mind being entertained or seeing an interview in a different format.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I rate what you guys are doing with the show. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's why I appreciate you, because there's a lot of like people that didn't rate what we did.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What was some of the backlash? Big salute to the sponsors, Diamond Club, with delivery all over the GTA and now all across Canada. They got the best selection of flour, edibles, and pens, and all types of goodies that you need. You can find them on their Instagram page, DiamondClub_Canada, or you can find them on the 7 Days of Weed app, as well as the Leafy Things app. Let them know that you heard about them through the We Love Hip Hop Network, and they may give you a discount. Big salute to Diamond Club. Cheer!
I don't remember their name, but like I'm pretty sure you know them because you're in the space, but I don't remember their name. But I remember the day after we dropped, or a couple days after we dropped our episode, there were, well, first of all, there was a lot of people going like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, because, they were like, what is this? Like, why are you interviewing a guy like they don't, some of them don't like how Toronto is very territorial.
Yes.
Some people don't like Moula. Some people are from a certain place that doesn't like Moula. So they're like, why are you interviewing this guy? This is not funny, all this stuff, right?
Right.
But then there was like, I don't remember their names, two guys, older gentlemen. And they got really annoyed at the interview that we did because they were like, well, you're not asking the right questions.
Oh my God. They missed the point.
Like, and it really made me annoyed. And I remember like, I went on my, like usually like when there's people that are just hating, usually I'm just like, I ignore it.
Yeah.
This time I got super pissed off because it's like, I watched the podcast. They do a podcast just like this. I watched the podcast, the whole episode. And I watched, because I don't mind constructive criticism.
Right.
So I watched the whole thing. And the man said, yo, more time? Like, I didn't even watch the episode. But like, I just watched a little snippet thing that they posted.
On Instagram? But like, that shit was just not good. Like, he wasn't asking the right questions. Oh,
he didn't really drill Moula. Like, I'm guessing he's the interview, right? Pause. Big pause. Holy fuck.
Hey, yo.
But like, he was like, yo, he's not really asking the questions that need to be asked. He's like, yo. I've been interviewing since 2003. And like this, and I'm like, yo, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, bro, in 2003, what the fuck was I doing? I was in a crib. I was in my crib. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I was watching Thomas the Tank Engine on TV. It's like, yo, you've been doing this for this long and you're this man. And he's like, and he didn't get it because like, he's like, yo, some people are just trying to be interviewers and not good at being interviewers. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not an interviewer. And I don't need to be an interviewer. Let's get that first and foremost. Like, I'm a content creator and a successful one at that.
I'm laughing because it's so obvious that it was scripted.
And I don't understand like what they were thinking because like it's a scripted thing.
Yeah.
It's like if you ever watched like, who's that one white guy remember that guy that did the thing with Drake?
Yeah, from Barstool. Yeah.
That whole thing is scripted.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe we were going for. A scripted show that didn't feel like a podcast.
And you still get to get some real shit out of it because Moula does have issues with Nav.
Oh, yeah. And he told us that.
Yeah.
When we were going through the script with him, because we gave him the script of the questions that we're going to ask. And we said, yo, are you comfortable with these? And he's like, yeah, I'm good with all of that. Like, and I was like, because I didn't meet him. I didn't know. This is the first time I'm meeting him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't know the depth of how much he hated Nav. So I was like, yo, we're going to ask you stuff about Nav, but like in a funny way. Like, I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures and then Nav is going to show up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like, yo, guys, who put this in here? Are you comfortable with that? Or is this like some serious shit? Like some real shit? He's like, no, I'm good, bro. He's like, I'm good. But like, I just want to really get something. But he told me, like, while we're in the studio, before we're about to shoot that scene, he told me, he was like, yeah, like, I'm going to do my thing, but I'm going to really get something off my chest. And I think he did it in the best way possible. Because Nav definitely saw that.
Yeah.
And I think, and then a couple months later, he comes to Rex, you know what I mean? And he's like, while he's rolling out his album, I don't know if him and Moula had a conversation. I'm pretty sure they might have linked up, like, you know what I mean? But I know for a fact, Nav saw that. Pretty much everybody in Toronto saw that, right? Drake fucking liked it and co-signed it and shouted it out on it. Shout out to him for that.
No, salute.
And yeah, like Moula did it in a very great way. But and I really do appreciate Moula for really giving us the opportunity to do that. But yeah, no, what was funny to me was it was hilarious because those guys, they didn't understand what we were doing. Like, they had no idea, like, yo, this is scripted. It's not a real interview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a fucking it's a production style thing in the style of an interview. But this is purely comedy. And if you don't get it, and that's why I rate you, because you're one of the only like OGs that get that. Those guys didn't get it. He's going on talking about like, yo, bro, since 2003, like I've been doing this and this is a mockery. And I'm like, nigga, what the
Well, the thing is, there's two reasons why I get it. One, because like I watch a lot of content, so I can tell when it's like a real interview and when it's just like a production, right? And two, even with my interviews, I'm not asking the same questions as what I used to artists anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Because content has evolved. And if you're not trying to evolve with content, I'm going to look at the camera. If you're not trying to evolve with content, you're going to get left behind complaining about 2003. And I might know the gentleman you're talking about and mess with them heavy. But I'm going to say it anyway. You have to evolve with the times, right? So asking just regular interviews, like I did ask you where you grew up, but like that's not like, you know, we're going to spend 20 minutes on that.
Yeah,
and like,
because like who wants to like, okay, this is how I look at it. If you want to know about where Moula, forget about Moula. It could be any artist in Toronto. If you want to know where they grew up, if you want to know all of these things about them, their life, what they did before music, their approach to recording music, then listen to their music. Because most of the time, they talk about that in their music.
Facts.
You want to know where Moula first is from? He has an entire album called Pandemic Rex.
Yeah.
I listen to that album daily. He literally explains everything. Why don't you listen to his music?
Yeah.
Like, why? There's interviews that you've done. Moula has done. There's so many interviews on the internet.
My old interviews, I used to ask that back in the days. But back in the days was also like almost 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I've brought them back in. Like I've interviewed Moula, or not even interviewed, I've had conversations with him.
Yeah.
Maybe about 5 times now.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask him, his musical process and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, yo, what's going on with Rolling Loud? There will be no day 2 or day 3. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing now.
Moment, by the way.
But like, it's because we're having conversations about topics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where I'm going in a direction now with most of my interviews. It's like, let's have some conversations about some things that are interesting to you or maybe to the audience and get the artist's point of view on that.
Exactly. And because you're an actual interviewer and this is what you do as like a job.
Yeah.
Right? This is what you do and you're very good at it.
Yeah, thank you.
Like you're one of the top people, I would say arguably like on hip hop journalists on the internet.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Or hip hop interview journalists on the internet. So this is what you do, right? But like another thing is I'm not an like interviewer, right? Like I'm just a entertainer, content creator.
Yes.
And so my objective when we're producing this show is to not ask the hard questions that are going to be like, whoa. My objective is to get you to ask the questions that are going to get laughter, because like who's going to ask that?
Yeah.
Right? Like who's going to dare ask that?
Yeah.
Or to do things that are going to be like, yo, who's going to dare do that? Like nobody in an interview is going to be like touching up Moula first. Like, yo, do you have anything in your pockets, bro? I'm really uncomfortable, man. Like, do you have anything in your pockets? Can you just make sure? Okay, can I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nobody's going to do that. So it's like, that's my job and people find it funny. If you don't find it funny, okay. Like I get it. Like
that's fine.
It's not, I don't have a problem. Like it's just not your thing. But like, don't fucking be like, oh, you shouldn't have done this and you should have done this. And by the way, I didn't watch it, but like I watched a little small thing and like, this is how I felt about it. So that's when I completely everything that you said is completely invalidated because now you didn't even fully scope the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just like saw one little bit and you're just like, you know?
Reacting off the clips.
Yeah,
but people will do that though, man. You know what I'm saying? It's
people
like,
are gonna do that.
And I feel like that's something that, I think that one triggered you, but you've already gotten used to that from the amount of YouTube content that you've created over
Yeah,
years.
but YouTube content is like, when you get hate comments, because I get hate comments every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting hate comments right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear my phone going off. Like,
I was hearing it before.
Turn it off. Hold on. Let me turn off the ringer. My bad, sorry. But yeah, I get hate comments like all the time. Like the way that you deal with it is just, I think you know this too, it's just like ignore them because it's just like, some people are going to like you and some people are going to not like you.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that you can do to get people that don't with your shit to like, I used to be a type of person like that where like I wanted to get people I wanted to change people to convert them to like me.
Yeah.
Then I realized that's impossible to do. Some people are just stuck in their ways.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is how they are. So then I was just like, okay, the people that like me are the people that like me, and the people that don't like me are the people that don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't really respond. In that moment, I got super mad because you're saying all of these ridiculous things on your podcast. And this is like kind of like a new show that we're starting up and stuff like that we're investing time and effort and everything into.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you to go on your platform and say that kind of just frustrates me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But in a way, like it added more of like a buzz for the actual content. So people are like, yo, let me check this out. Like, what is this actually about? And there could be an argument that like sometimes like stuff like that, like even antics like that can further elevate the content. Like for example, the whole Kendrick and Drake beef,
Mm-hmm.
like them dropping their diss tracks and everything, that's one thing. But it was all the other antics on top of that made that one of the greatest beefs in history.
And us, the content creators who reacted to it.
Yeah.
We all made so many breakdown videos.
Oh my
and,
God, bro.
You know,
I was streaming the diss track, like when, like, oh my God. I was streaming like when Drake dropped like Family Matters, and then right away, like Kendrick responded with the Not Like. It was like, while I'm streaming, all of this is happening. It was a amazing time.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
it's like watching everything live and seeing all your people reacting to it live, and it was a great experience. And sometimes it could be argued, like you said earlier, that sometimes a lot of the showmanship and the antics around everything can make a lot of these things more, obviously safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody got really hurt.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, I don't think anybody has gotten really hurt over this.
Not over the battle.
Yeah. So, but what did you think about that? Like the whole.
I thought as a content creator, it was great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it really helped elevate. I think everybody helped elevate our channel. It was good because it was based off of songs and not off of like real street friction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it could have been us doing reactions to Drake and Kendrick bumping into each other at a club and crashing out.
Yeah.
That could have been like, a month of content. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But instead, we got like 3 months of content because they gave us like 4 or 5 songs each.
Back to back, yeah.
Yeah, like that was the first time that people were actually reacting to music and not the story.
Yeah.
So that was, to me, lovely as somebody who loves hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
And the paycheck obviously was great.
Yeah. The ad revenue was definitely better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I want to ask you though, with your content, the evolution of it. And I'm going to maybe ask you, I'm going to give you a scenario and let me know if I'm right.
Okay.
As a gamer, right?
Okay.
You're on the games, the online games. There's a whole bunch of racist ass rhetoric.
Yeah.
Okay. You're making content and you're also gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Does the racist ass rhetoric that you're seeing with all of these people from all over the world encourage you to start making the content that you're making now, where you're on Omegle and all that, and you're like calling out racist gamers and stuff too? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Was it a product of that, of like just seeing so much of that?
I think like growing up, obviously you hear people. Okay, so like I grew up in a time where like, pretty sure most people watching, there was this game called Modern Warfare 2. Okay? I don't know if you're familiar with this game.
I've heard of the game.
So Modern Warfare 2 is like, you would hear some of the most disgusting, vile, racist, homophobic, sexist, like some of the worst things you've ever heard of, you would hear.
From a 14-year-old.
From like, from a 7-year-old. Forget about 14.
That's crazy.
So when I was growing up, these were the type of games that I was playing. And back then, it was like, nowadays you have options,
Yeah.
You can be in a Discord call with your homies. You don't have to listen to game. But back then, you had to hear the game chat.
Yeah.
Like if somebody had their mic in and they were talking, right? That came out through your TV, right? Like, it's not like how you have like your headphones and like,
that's crazy.
No, back then it was like, nah, bro. Like, nah, be like, fam, this came through your TV. Like, if he's saying like racial slurs, everybody's gonna hear that. And most of us are playing in the middle of our living room. So then you have to explain it to your mom. Thank God I have African parents. They don't get it. They don't know English that well. You know what I mean? So they don't fully like understand, right, what's going on. But for other people, that's not the case. So, you know, growing up, you know, I was playing these games like GTA and I was playing these games like Modern Warfare 2. And I would just hear these things. So I guess it gave me like a thick skin.
Yeah.
So like now, as far as I'm concerned, like some of these guys that try to like, you know, be race or whatever, when I go on Omegle or whatever and I encounter some of these guys.
Yeah, and you debate with them, you best them like crazy.
Nah, because there's no point wasting calories debating these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why are you don't do that. You know what I mean? Just make them look like a fucking idiot, right? So now, like, I've heard it gave me a thick skin to where, like, if I encounter somebody just anywhere, say it's like a white guy goes like, you fucking, and he calls me the hard R. That shit doesn't bother. Like, if anything, I just laugh, right? It's like, and he calls me a hard R. I was like, okay, yeah. He calls me a hard R, and it's just like, okay, like, couldn't you have said that a little bit more aggressively? Like, don't you think your grandfather would appreciate you saying that so, like, monotone? Let's put a little bit more bass. Can we put up the bass a little bit? And then he tries again. You're almost there. You know what I mean? So now I got to the point where like that shit doesn't bother me. I feel like a lot of people especially black people, when they hear certain words, triggers them.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they want to fight and stuff like that. For me, it's like, yeah, these words are frustrating to hear. But I feel like I grew up in a time where everything was so that it doesn't even bother me. Somebody says that shit to me, I'll laugh.
Yeah.
And then I found a way to record it and kind of just the normal things that I would do. I found a way to go on a platform where I can record that, like completely like roast the hell out of you or expose the hell out of you and then upload it to the internet for everybody to laugh at.
Yeah.
You know? Completely legal. And as far as I'm concerned, it's moral and just in my eyes. You know? So, yeah, I feel like it gave me like, going back to your question, it gave me like hearing a lot of crazy shit growing up, gave me the thick skin to be able to create the content that I'm making now. Yeah. I feel like if I didn't experience those insane people back then, like that you would hear on Game Chat, I'm pretty sure a lot of people watching have experienced this as well. If I didn't experience that, I don't feel like I could have the thick skin to do what I'm doing now. You know, I'd fucking have some kind of, you know, teenage mental breakdown and I'd crash out. Yo, you know how much money I got? Who are you calling that? Who you calling that?
You're looking for them. It's not like they're finding you and then just doing all the kind of racist shit to you.
No,
you're looking for them.
To be fair, like I create different kind of content. It's not always like
no.
Has to be like when I'm in my recording sessions, like there's different videos that we can make from different stuff.
Yeah.
But you just so happen to find a lot of those like racist people.
Yeah.
On the internet because the internet is very anonymous.
Yeah.
Or so they think, right? And so, you know, you encounter a lot of these people that just say a lot of crazy things. And I guess, you know, you can just like, some of them are willing to talk to you. Some of them are not willing to talk to you. But, you know, I've kind of found this way of just like, kind of putting them on, I guess, blast, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but I don't do, like, when you say I go out looking for them, like, I don't really go out looking for them. Like, I really want to make this clear. Like, there's a lot of them on there. They're just
a rock and hit one.
Yeah. It's like, they just lurk. You know what I mean? Especially when they see like the setup and everything, and they know you're streaming or whatever. It's like, yo, let me see, like, they can tell you're streaming or recording. They're going to try to say something that's going to, you know.
That's so crazy.
Be controversial so that
they should be the opposite. Like, they should see you're streaming and recording and let me not say something that with my face that make me lose my job or something.
Well, we're in the crash out era now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of people, they just want to say, like, and to be fair, there's a lot of people that come up to me and say, yo, Captain, I'm a big fan of your videos when I go on, right? There's dozens of people.
Yeah.
Like, every time I go on. It got to the point where it's like, shit, can I even record on here anymore? Because like there's so much people like, yo, I love your videos, bro. Please put me in the video.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But occasionally you'll find like one or two of those, people, and then you just and the process to like doing that is very simple. Like, bro, it's just you relax. Like I smoke hell, like I'm high. When I'm doing this shit, I can't do this shit when I'm sober.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I gotta dumb myself down to their level. Because like, if I'm sober doing it, I'm gonna rationally try to process the things that they're saying. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Some guy's trying to convince me like, yo, the cerebral cortex in minorities, this part of the brain, is significantly less. And so like, I didn't want to argue with him. That's why a lot of minorities, specifically black people, they lash out and they get angry more often than us. That's what he's trying to claim.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sit there and argue with him and be like, well, that's not true, blah, blah. Like if I was sober, I would have to do that. That's how my brain would think. But when I'm high, it's like, okay, let me make this guy look dumb. How am I going to make this guy look dumb? Let me piss him the hell off so that he starts yelling and screaming at me. And then I'm going to be like, yeah, how's that for the cerebral cortex, buddy? He starts yelling.
It just shrunk.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of my approach. And then they can't say nothing. Then we get what's called the deer in headlights, where they're just like staring at you, looking at you. And that's where I'm in my prime time. That's where I'm like, prime time, Game 7, Michael Jordan. When I see those Friday, it's a look.
It's the glaze.
It's the glaze in their eyes. It's the look. They just start looking at you. They can't say anything, even when they have shades on.
Yeah.
I can tell, bro.
You could tell they're blinking behind the shades.
I can just smell it. And they got nothing to say. And then that's when I go on the attack, and I don't let them say a goddamn thing. I just keep coming at them. Like, you know what I mean?
Good.
And then it just, that's kind of how, that's my approach. That's kind of how we go about doing it,
Nah, man, I love to see it, bro.
For sure.
Let me ask you something about some of the behind the scenes, because just from some of the more recent titles, or like some of the titles that we were just talking about, like the racist stuff and all that, right? And even with me, like with YouTube, I've been very particular. Even when I say that word, sometimes I say gracist. Yeah. Because I know YouTube could be very particular. Right?
Yeah.
So I see you use different things, like you put like a little like inflection thing on some of the C's.
Accent?
Yeah, the accents on the C's and on the A's. Is that because of YouTube's whatchamacallit, terms and conditions stuff? Like, because I know the guidelines can be very strict when it comes to certain stuff. You want to see green dollar signs.
Yeah. So when it comes to, like, YouTube has changed a lot in the past couple of years. So like 8 years ago, you could get away with saying certain things that you can't get away with saying now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right? So the idea of a YouTuber, and I think you know this, when you're doing YouTube, is you don't want to get your content demonetized.
You want a green dollar sign instead of a yellow one.
And that's not just for money, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not just for money. Like, a lot of people go like, oh, you just want to make money. Okay, that's part of it. Everybody wants to make money on the internet, right? I'm not going to lie. But it's also like an algorithmic thing, right?
Yes.
If you get a yellow icon on your video, there is no incentive for YouTube to push that because it's not generating them revenue.
Yeah.
You got to always think about what's making them money.
Yeah.
Because whatever's making the platform money is going to be making me money.
Yeah.
Right? So, and it all comes down to like advertisers. This video that you're going to upload, there's going to be advertisers that are going to bid to pay to get ads at the beginning of this video and during the video.
Yes.
And then that's what's called a CPM. That governs your CPM.
Yeah.
How much
clicks
money?
Per mile.
Cost per mile. How much money are advertisers willing to pay to put ads on your video per 1,000 views?
Yeah.
Some people it's $2. Some people it's $200. Right? So the thing with it is you have to kind of find a way in this kind of crazy society that we're in, where anybody could get canceled at any given time. You have to find a way to sort of mask it in a certain way. The reason why I put the little accents and I censor it out in a certain way is because I don't want it the automated system to like kind of flag it.
Mm-hmm.
Every video that I make, like I have to get it approved. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you get to a certain level on YouTube, like I'm pretty sure you understand this, but like maybe you do or maybe you don't, but I have to get everything approved. Like it takes several days. After the video's done, it's going to take several days to get that video approved. I have to go to my rep, get them to look at it, make sure they approve it.
Wow.
They send it to like YouTube, they approve. So like you have to like really sort of, it takes a while, right? So I make the content in such a way and I do it in such a way to avoid those systems.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, even though like the content is it is what it is, like it's not really the most PG content.
Right.
It's still censored and it's still censored and it still performs in a way as if like it's not hate. I feel like if you make it in a way where it's like hateful, YouTube's not gonna like it. If you do it in a way where it's like you're trying to comedically, and this is what we say all the time, we comedically condemn all of this shit that we see.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm interacting with these people, I'm not being like, yeah, bro, you're right.
Yeah.
And even if I do say that, it's like doing it in a comedic way where it's like, you just look like a dumbass, you know? And then I circle back and then I'd be like, yo, by the way, you're a dumbass. Like everything you're saying is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And we do it in an artistic, comedic way. So YouTube, I feel like YouTube, they get it because we spoke to the platform, I spoke to my rep. They understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to structure the content in that way.
Yeah.
That's not all that I do as also. You know, I do a bunch of other different stuff.
Right.
But a lot of the content that I make is like on sensitive topics.
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of these sensitive topics that I make content on is because these are some of the topics, or a lot of these topics, these are some of the things that I've experienced in my life. Right? So I've experienced these things and I understand these things. And so because I experienced them, how can I artistically express myself?
Yeah.
To show like, yo, these things do not bother me. And they shouldn't bother you.
Yeah.
Right? And I think I've convinced a lot of people like, yo, some random dude saying some dumb shit on the internet, calling you a bunch of racial slurs, bro, that shouldn't bother you. First of all, some dude behind the screen, right?
Yeah.
Second of all, it's like, dude's never gonna, how much times has some fucking white guy come up to you and said, like, that shit doesn't happen. Like, it happens from time to time.
It's happened a couple of times, but like...
Rarely.
And to be honest, I don't know, maybe I'm not evolved enough that one of those times dude got punched.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame you.
But on the internet though, like the amount of shit that I see,
yeah,
especially like when I do content, like I've done content with Chris Sky before, and then that's when you see all the Gracists start coming into the comments.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I usually do, I don't really see too many of those, but I do see like hater ass comments.
100%.
Especially if you get posted on Reddit.
Oh, 100%. Torontology?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get posted on Torontology a lot.
Yo.
That's another thing. Do you think Toronto is like, they call us Screwface capital for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Toronto is like truly a hateful city? And do you think like other cities are worse? Or do you think Toronto is like...
Well, okay. Here's the thing with Screwface Capital. It used to be called a Screwface Capital because of the way that we used to interact with each other in shows.
Yeah.
Like we go to the shows, we all have our arms folded. No
this
rapper.
Is back when, like the 90s?
Late 90s, early 2000s, like in the big t-shirt eras and all that type of shit when everybody was wearing t-shirts down to their knees in the early 2006 and shit like that. You were very young.
I was baby.
But like, we didn't have the love for our own artist the way that people have now. So it's like they still call it the Screwface Capital because it's just like a lot of bad mind shit that's goes on here.
Yeah.
However, it's not the same anymore. Like y'all got love for each other. Like you have.
Do you honestly think that though? Because there is people like, I will see like somebody like who's a talented artist, for example, Loco City. I'll see a talented artist like Loco City.
Yeah.
And he took his break and he came back and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But I'll see a talented artist like Loco City genuinely makes good music. I think we can tell the difference between somebody who makes good music and who doesn't make good music. Somebody who makes good content and who doesn't make good content, right? Loco City is a good artist, But then there are people that are like, yo, stop. Like, you know, he'll be posted on 6Buzz or he'll be posted on Real Toronto News, Keep6ixSolid. And there's going to be people that are going to be like, yo, turn this shit off. Like, this shit is ass. Like, why are you fending for this guy? Like, even though he's and I'm sitting there saying like, obviously music is subjective, but you can see the quality that's getting put in the stuff.
Yes.
And then people immediately, their first instinct is they just hate. Especially
Yes.
when they see somebody, like a new artist come on the scene.
But the only reason that they can hate on somebody like a local city or even like a top 5 or anybody is because they actually have fans that if you look in their analytics, a big percentage of their fans are from here. Like their numbers, like local city CP24, the numbers that are on there, a lot of them came from Toronto.
From Toronto.
Right? So people bump their tunes from Toronto. Where the time where I came from back in the days, that wasn't cool. We didn't have fan bases of kids in high school listening to our shit. Like when I used to rap.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like we were trying to get to the American fan base as much as possible because at home, they don't show love like that to the local artist. Where now I get recommendations from youngins like, yo, you need to interview so-and-so. His shit goes hard. You know what I'm saying? And like he's like starting college or in high school over here in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? So it's evolved over the years. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so it used to be like worse.
It was bad. Like Drake really made it where like we started to
definitely.
like we can embrace ourselves.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Even with the accent and stuff like that. Like
yeah, how do you feel about that? There's I think a lot of people have a very mixed ideas about the accent. Personally, like I think it's fucking hilarious. Like I don't take anything seriously. You know? Like when I hear a guy go like, yo fam, wagwan, bro, I seen you swerving in your Beamer, broski. What's going on with that? Like when I see a guy say like talking like that, first of all, nobody really talks like that. Well, there's maybe a few people.
There's a few people that do.
Like you could probably find a few people in the depths of Scarborough that'll go like, yeah, yo, cuzzy.
No. It won't be that. It'll be like in Oshawa.
Or maybe, yeah.
Trying to be
Toronto.
Trying to be a caricature of a Toronto person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But one thing, even, and I had an accent question, because you don't have the typical Toronto, quote unquote, Toronto accent, right?
Nah.
So when you're making content, do a lot of people know that you're from Toronto?
No, like it took people years. I think until the blog started posting me shit, it took people years. No, actually what it was I have a story time series. So I have a story time series talking about like my experiences growing up.
Yeah.
Before YouTube and everything, I had like a job. Like I was working a factory job. Right? And like I got robbed by like a Toronto mans. You know what I mean?
Yo, fam.
Like the type of mans like outside of Shoppers Drug Mart, the type of mans outside of Shoppers Drug Mart that's gonna ask you for a bogey. You know what I mean? Yo, fam, allow me a bogey. Yo, what are you dealing with, cuzzy?
I don't mean to laugh at your trauma, bro.
Yo, what are you dealing with, cuzzy? Yo, don't be like that. You know what I mean? Like he was one of those, you know?
Yeah.
So like when I made that video of like, I got robbed at 5 a.m. in Toronto, that was the first time people, and I did my Toronto accent and that kind of, I was like impersonating the guy.
Yeah.
That's when people were like, yo, this guy's from Toronto? Yo.
They didn't realize for all those videos.
Like they might have knew that I was Mali, but they didn't know I was like from Toronto. They always assumed that I was from
Minnesota.
The States. Yeah. They like everybody thought some people didn't even know I was Canadian.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Because I'm big in the States. Like I'm big here too.
No, I feel like you probably have if I was to see your analytics, it's probably 60s to 70% American. 60 to
70% American. Yeah. Obviously, every country, like your true captain is in every country.
Yeah.
World domination, okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
even when I went to the bulk is in the United States. Yeah.
Yes.
So people from the US thought I was like an American. And then I was like, nah, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And then I don't have the standard Toronto accent because one, I feel like I've consumed a lot. Like growing up, I consumed a lot of different media. There are some Toronto mans that just fucking listen to CP24 all day.
Yeah.
they're gonna just talk like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all they know is Toronto. Like
Yeah.
I know, like I've traveled everywhere, you know? So I understand different, and on top of that, like I'm not from, and not to say like you have to be from the trenches to talk like that, but like I was privileged enough to live in a good area where, like, you know.
Yeah, you know, you're right.
But
though.
that's not a full, like, that's not a real like reason as well. But
no, but it's a big part of it, bro, because when you see these guys in like the suburbs, and I've experienced this being around my girl and like go to her family's house in the suburbs, right? With all due respect, right? Like some of the kids that will be around there, they think they need to put on the Toronto man accent.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, I don't blame them. Like, it's fucking like, it's fun. Like, it's funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, but it's a thing to be like, this makes me harder. You understand what I'm saying?
I look at it more of like a comedy sort of thing.
Yeah, you look at it like that, but like if you're like a 12-year-old kid and you want to show that you're cooler to your friends,
yeah, okay,
and you're from the burbs,
yeah,
I'm gonna show you some words. Yeah. This is how the man them talk. Like, yo, I was in Jane and Finch. Yo, I went into Jane and Finch the other day, fam.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it gives you stripes.
Yeah.
If you actually could like teach your little friends the lingo.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can understand. You know, for some of these kids, and I grew up with a lot of these kids, by the way. For some of them, it's like they don't have. Sometimes growing up in the suburbs feels ordinary. They want excitement in their life.
They want a story.
They want a story to tell everybody.
Yeah.
You know? So I can see why that happens. But overall, the Toronto accent as a whole, I think it's like, and even when fucking the girl fucking made it super popular. Plush. When she was like, yo, if the business is true, I have my friends in like New York talking about like, this is how you guys talk? And I had to explain to them like, kind of, but not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of, but not really. They're like, yo, how do you guys talk like that? Like, how do you guys make those vocal inflections? Can you show me? I'm like, you see how you just said, can you show me? Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
They're probably looking at you like, why don't you talk like that?
And then it's a whole explanation.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be like, yo, you know, like, yeah, but not like, you know, it's a lot, you know what I mean? But a lot of people, there's a lot, and the reason why I ask you, because a lot of people are on the fence when it comes to like this kind of thing. There's some people that like the Toronto accent, like me, like I think it's funny and I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. But then there's also people that think it's a mockery. What do you think about that?
I think it's a bit of both. I think that there is a mockery involved when it comes to like the people that I just explained, but they don't even know that they're mocking it.
Okay. So like, for example, Snow Day, that's my brethren.
Yeah, so, me too.
Okay? Like me and that guy talk all the time. When me and him are talking on the phone, he's not going like, yo, roll that up and barks that.
No.
Like, he's not talking like, he talks normal, like me.
Yeah.
He's a normal guy.
Yeah.
People don't know, like, that's a normal guy.
I literally saw him the other day at the roast, and we were talking behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, you guys went to the
Chromas roast, right?
I was supposed to go to that shit.
And yeah, he's normal. I've seen him multiple times.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a normal guy, but that's his character. And some people think it's like a disrespect sort of thing.
Yeah. I could see where those people are coming from, because a lot of those people come from the older times.
Okay.
Where like, yes, and besides the people from the older times, there is a Toronto accent that people have, but people don't want to be looked at outside of Canada as a caricature.
Okay.
That's why some people may go at him. You know what I'm saying?
But
I don't get super offended or anything like that, because I understand comedy as well.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand what he's doing. I know he's a musical artist.
Yeah.
He's doing comedies, and that's taken off for him. Like, louder man. You know what I'm saying?
Louder guy, like, let him do his thing, you know?
Yeah.
But it's another, like, the reason why, and maybe like I'm not from like the trenches, so I don't understand. But it's one thing to be like a blatant mockery.
Yeah.
Right? But what I've learned about Toronto, just Toronto in general, is that Toronto people and Toronto mans especially always want to have a certain image, especially to people in the States.
Yes.
This is what I don't understand. And maybe you can give me context to this because like, maybe I'm not a hood nigga like that to really understand. But like, if Snow Day is doing his little accent, yo fam, I'm really from the trenches, right? When he's doing his little accent and people are going like, yo, that's how they talk and they're laughing. I don't understand why you would get mad and go like, yo, you're impersonating and making fun of how we are. Like some people will say that on the internet. People will say anything that they want on the internet.
I know why.
But and this is the important thing. But like, has anybody come to your ends and said, like, why do you talk like that? Or like made fun of you? Like, what I'm trying to say is nobody, like, people will say on the internet, they'll make fun of the Torontos, whatever, on the internet all the time. But no, like, none of these people in America are going to come to your ends and say whatever they say on the internet to you.
Facts.
You know that.
Yeah.
So why do you care about the perception of what random people in America think on the internet? This is a big problem in Toronto, is because a lot of people in Toronto care what America thinks about you.
It wasn't only the internet. It came before even YouTube times and stuff like that. A lot of it is come from hip hop and getting acceptance in the hip hop scene.
Okay.
Because America has the biggest market for rap and hip hop, right?
Yeah.
So us being their little brother or whatever has always been looking to get that validation so that we can get mainstream.
Okay.
To become mainstream, like how Drake is, you have to have an American audience.
Yeah,
you're mainstream
Yeah.
because you have an American audience and a Canadian audience, but because you have a big American audience, that's what helps people get to that mainstream. The problem is that back in the days, we never used to be ourselves. We used
Always
to pretend
pretending
to be like them to get the acceptance, and maybe they'll just think that we're American and then they'll just like the music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now that we have the Toronto accent and everything like that.
Culture.
And the culture, and we embraced it like we were talking about earlier, like high school kids love Toronto rappers.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we're trying to protect it. Okay?
Okay.
The reason, and while we were having this conversation, I realized why they're mad at Snow Day.
Okay.
It's because he's white.
But he's not white though.
But it's because
isn't he like he's like
he's like an Arab or Persian.
No.
Or something.
He's like a Spanish. Like he's like Ecuadorian, Colombian, Ecuadorian,
Either
something
way,
like that.
He's not
like
white skin.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if when Andy blew up with the Toronto Roadman,
Yeah.
would he get in the same backlash?
No, he
as
didn't.
Roadman. No, but he didn't. He's blown up here.
Okay.
Snow Day is blown up outside of Toronto.
Okay.
With this character.
And do you think it's the same thing with what's her name with Plush?
Exactly the same thing. It's only something. It's actually if I might even insert a light bulb and edit, bing, that hit me earlier. Like it's because they're white. Because What's With Andy has been doing the Toronto Roadman for a minute, and if he had went as viral outside of Toronto,
there would be no issue.
I don't think there'd be an issue. They'd just be like, "Yo, that's funny."
For y'all entertainment, we're doing the same thing.
That blew up. They never got an issue. They did it with Drake, and they didn't get an issue.
So it's more so they're trying to protect an image. So, what? White people can't be Toronto mans?
No, that's how they look
at it.
And outside of the country, what we're worried about is we're like, yo, they think that we're crazy. They think that we're not crazy. They think we look stupid because of these white representations.
But isn't that Friday? Isn't that fucking ridiculous? Because like, why do you care what these random people in America think? Like, Toronto is we are the number one city in the world in music.
I want to take a quick break from this episode to give a big shout out to Only Loud, Canada's one-stop shop for your favorite legacy brands and all things loud. Only Loud provides mail order delivery nationwide and same-day delivery to those in the Ottawa area. Check them out at onlyloud.ca or follow them on their socials, Instagram at onlyloudcanada or on Snapchat onlyloud.ca for more exclusive content. Only Loud is not just a product, it's a lifestyle. Big salute to the sponsors. Cheer.
Like, period.
Yeah.
Like, and I said this on stream too, and a lot of my American...
That's a big statement though.
No. But I think it's true. because I said this on stream, and a lot of the people in my stream are Americans. So I was like, yo, Toronto is the #1 city in music, and they didn't believe me. So I had to make a whole, and I think, shout out to Real Toronto News, they posted it on my page. I made an entire, like, because most of the people in my chat are niggas. So I explained it in basketball terms.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a Toronto starting 5. We got Tory Lanez in point guard. We got Justin Bieber in shooting guard. We got The Weeknd in small forward, biggest artist in the world, by the way. We got Drake in power forward position.
Wow.
And I think I put like Daniel Caesar in like the center position or whatever, right? Or I might have put Party Next Door or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, nobody's beating this starting 5. Our backcourt is like 100 mil on Spotify alone. The Weeknd is the #1 artist in the world currently, right now.
Yeah.
Drake is Drake.
Yeah.
Like, Daniel Caesar is like an R&B legend from here. You know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, nobody's beating that starting 5. Each of these guys have over 20 mil monthly listeners on Spotify
and Justin
alone.
Bieber is the vet. And he's young as hell.
Yeah.
Think about that. Justin Bieber is the vet out of all of these guys.
Yeah.
And he's probably younger than all of them.
Than all of them.
Yeah.
Right? So then I took it even further. And I was like, forget about that. Nobody's beating this starting 5, first of all. Like, this starting 5 is on Spotify alone, $500 million monthly.
Yeah.
On Spotify alone. But then I named the bench. I was like, yo, we got Party Next Door, 6th man. Off the bench. You got Nav, 6th man off the bench. Keep in mind, Party Next Door, tens of millions, over 20 million monthly listeners as well.
Yeah.
Nav, tens of millions monthly listeners as well. Press Machine, off the bench. Jesse Reyes, off the bench. Shawn Mendes, off the bench.
Shawn Mendes, yeah. I forgot about
Killy,
Shawn Mendes.
off the...
Yo.
Like, bro,
Killy,
Roy
yeah.
Woods, Division.
Yeah.
We can keep Smiley. Brother, we could keep going on and on and
we
on.
have a lot
Cardinal
of talent.
Official is the coach. You know what I mean?
That's
Cuzzy.
a sick team right there.
You know, who was beating? And I was like, and they're arguing with me.
We need a jersey for that.
Bro, they were arguing with me, and I was like, yo, first of all, you're not beating the starting 5, but even if the whole starting 5 is injured, you're not taking on our bench either.
Yeah.
Like, our bench is somebody's starters in another city.
Yeah.
So then I was like, yo, break it down to me. Tell me who's gonna beat us. Give me a starting 5. They're like, LA's beating you guys.
How?
I'm like, who do you got in LA? So, Roddy Ricch. I'm like, yo, Roddy Ricch.
No, the way you just broke it down, when you just broke it down like as at a starting team and stuff like that, when I think about other cities, I'm like, yeah, they have a huge population and they have history.
Yeah.
But right now, can you put together a starting team, let's
That's
say
gonna
from
compete.
LA, of current guys that are doing their thing? It's hard to do,
bro.
Man. Like Kendrick will be in there somewhere, like
Kendrick
for sure.
will be in there. Tyler the Creator.
Tyler
but bro,
the Creator.
you're not like LA is not competing with us respectfully.
Yeah.
Like we're beating those guys.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chicago, Kanye and all that shit.
Kanye,
Lil
Dirk,
Durk, Chief, Keef,
well,
all
not
that
Dirk
shit.
now, but yeah.
But they're not competing with us.
Yeah.
Right? And free Dirk, by the way. New York and London are probably the only cities that are competing with us. Respectfully.
Yeah.
You know, those two, if somebody said those two, okay. That's an argument that you can have.
Yeah.
But Atlanta is not an argument that you can have, bro.
Yeah.
Respectfully. Like, Future, Playboy Cardi, all that. Like, compared to our starting 5, those guys are like bench players. Like, not Future, sorry, but like
Not
people
Future.
like Yachty, like Cardi, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not, Cardi and Yachty are not competing with like Weeknd.
They're not S-tier rappers.
Future is an S-tier
artists.
rapper,
Yes,
right?
Future is, but like
if Toronto
what
went
you
to
just named there in the starting 5, that's all S-tier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll say maybe Tory Lanez is a
A+ tier.
right? But Drake S-tier,
Justin
Weeknd,
Bieber S-tier.
S-tier, Justin Bieber S-tier.
And maybe Daniel Caesar is also an A+ tier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like nobody has that depth that we have. So when I explained that to them, it was like, some of them want to be delusional. Right?
Yeah.
I was like, Miami. I was like, who the fuck Miami have? Lil Pump? Like when you actually break it down.
Yeah, freaking what? Rick Ross?
You know?
I don't know, man.
I don't even know. So when you actually break it down, like Toronto is the #1 city in music. And I explained this on stream, right? And this is the height of the Kendrick versus Drake beef, by the way, when I was doing this. So they had a problem with it, especially all those people in LA. All those niggas in LA do not like me, by the way. Those niggas hate me. I got so much fucking death threats, hate threats from fucking those Crenshaw, Kung Fu Kenyans, man. Those guys are crazy, bro.
Kung Fu Kenyans.
That's what I call them.
They're going to be in the comments, man.
Oh, they already hate me. Yo, Friday, they hate me, bro. They hate my guts, bro. They told me that I'm banned from LA. If I even show up at the airport, they're going to have...
That's crazy.
If I showed you my DMs, bro, they are, man. Because, like, yo, I'm a very, like... I'm so Toronto, bro. You know what I mean? This is my city.
Yeah.
So as soon as I heard this nigga come on the song, talk about a family, Crody, I was like, yo, what the fuck? What's that song that he made?
That was on Euphoria.
As soon as I heard all that shit, those people had a family, Crody. I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, what's this guy doing? Remember how you were talking about a mockery?
Yeah.
I felt like I felt that.
Yeah.
So I can kind of understand what you're saying.
They got that from watching the content.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I kind of felt that because I was like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? Because if I come on here and go like, yo, what's good? I'm not even going to do it. But if I did all that shit, that LA shit, it'd be an issue.
Yeah.
They'd be like, yo, who the fuck are you to talk like that?
You're not even from neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an issue. Like they would actually, and I don't have like, you know? I can understand why they'd have a problem with that. Because there's actually people that talk like that.
Yeah.
So.
No, but there's actually people that talk like that over here. That talk
like
too.
what? Yeah. So I was like, what the fuck? So I was streaming, I was like, yo, this guy's that's when I was like, yo, Kendrick Lamar to me was a fucking, was a good artist. But at some point, like, I don't know, I just didn't like the guy. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even just the beef. It was just like everything up surrounding him.
I think it's your Toronto patriotism. Man.
Maybe. I don't know. Friday, I really don't think it's that. Well, I don't think it's that. I think it's like at some point, bro, Kendrick became like a victim rapper, bro. I don't like victim rappers. And I know that's going to piss people off, but bro.
No, I like that, man.
At some point, he became a victim rapper. Like, when I was listening to, like, when I was playing GTA 5 as a kid, I don't remember what the radio station was. The radio station that was bumping Kendrick. I was listening to that shit all the time. Pull up, drink, sit down, drink. Like, that was my thing.
Yeah.
That Good Kid, Mad City shit, I was like, ooh. I was like 12, 13 years old.
Classic shit.
And I was listening to that. I was like, ooh, this is hard. Who's this guy? Kendrick Lamar? Okay, let me follow him. Somewhere down the line, bro, I don't know where it was. I think it was after he made that, like, Wakanda album,
the Black
shit.
Panther soundtrack, yeah.
Bro, he became a victim rapper. All of a sudden now I'm hearing shit like, let me tell you about when we were slaves. It's like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, where's the fucking pull up, drink? Like, where's the hard shit? Like, you know what I mean? And he talked about some hard, like, political shit on Good Kid, Mad City. But after he made, like, that shit, he became a fucking victim rapper.
Became way too political.
And then I mustered up the thing inside me to listen to his newest thing. And I wish I didn't waste my time, fam.
Oh, the Mr. Morale and
Mr. Morale and whatever. Right? And I wish I didn't waste my time because that shit was a snooze fest. No disrespect, because it's like, yo, the way I look at Kendrick Lamar is like a victim rapper, bro. This is going to sound really bad, but I really don't like that guy. And I don't think it has anything to do with Drake. Like, people are going to say Toronto patriotism, all this shit.
They're going to be like, the Toronto Drake glaze is on.
Drake glaze.
You probably seen that comment.
Okay, like, whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm making that the title. Kendrick Lamar is a victim rapper.
Because, yo, he's a victim rapper, bro. Even on the fucking song, Not Like Us, the diss track, he's like, once upon a time, we were slaves. I'm like, yo, broski, why do you gotta keep reminding black people that they're slaves, bro?
Yeah.
Friday, do you, like, as a black person, bro, I don't ever think of myself in a way where it's like, I'm a descendant of slavery. I don't look at it like that, bro. Even if that's the case. Bro, my people are built some of the best, greatest civilizations ever. Zulu Empire.
Yeah.
The ancient Egyptians, bro, they made the pyramid. Like our ancestors are kings, queens, pharaohs, sultans.
Yeah.
Like the richest man in the history of the earth, period.
Mansa
was a
Musa.
black sub-Saharan African.
Yeah.
They don't teach that to you in school.
Yeah.
They never will teach that shit to you in school. And I don't ever see, bro, Kendrick Lamar is very quick to make a song King Kunta, about Kunta Kinte. Not saying that Kunta Kinte is not a prolific figure,
Yeah.
but like, bro, I've never seen them make a song about Mansa Musa.
Yeah. Talk about the good things
Talk
about
about
our people.
like, bro,
Yeah.
bro, that's a problem with a lot of black people. They only look at slavery and then that's it. They don't look past that. Like, bro, and I need to say this, like, we were more than just slaves, bro. Our history goes back thousands of years.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest empires that have ever spawned, bro, have come, like, we've built that. We did that.
Yeah.
So when I see Kendrick Lamar coming on here and talking about, let's talk about when we were slaves. I'm like, yo, the Underground Railroad. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, that happened. That's history. We know about that.
Yeah.
Why don't, you've been talking about that, bro, for
Yeah.
years. Why don't you talk about how we're kings and queens?
When we were kings.
And like, that's why I call him a fucking victim rapper. And that's why I do not like that guy for the simple fact, like, bro, I don't see Drake don't do that. Like, Drake don't rap about nothing political, period. Right?
But that's why some people might have an issue with him, right?
Okay, you might have an issue with that.
But that's the Kendrick fans who want that type of content.
But a lot of the Kendrick fans, they're fucking delusional. Like, Kendrick Lamar is a very smart in the sense that it's like, okay, and as far as I'm concerned, a lot of these rappers are the same. They're trying to make hits. They're trying to make money. They're money-hungry rappers, and they want to make money. I don't look at Kendrick Lamar any different, but he masks it in a way where it's like, oh, let me get the public appeal of black people specifically on my side and make this guy look like a fucking... Because when he first started out on the diss track, and we could even break this shit down, bro. Like, when he first started out with the diss tracks, it was like, yo, you're not black.
Yeah.
And you're from Canada, which I had a problem with.
I hate
he was,
the way you say nigga, but
he
that's
was
just
spinning this thing
me,
where
I
it's like,
guess.
yo, you're from Canada and you're light skinned, so you're not really like us, and you're Jewish, so you're not really black. And then all of a sudden, when he realized that's not working, it's like, there's black people everywhere in the world and we're not buying that. There's only people in America that are buying that.
Yeah.
Like, the niggas that are bumping this shit in Kenya, Nairobi, are not, like, he's not buying that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People, the black people in France that are listening to that shit, he's not buying that. You know what I mean?
And in America too.
And some people in America, like, shout
Yeah.
out Whack 100. Whack said it, like, he's like, yo, Kendrick, he's black, bro.
If J. Cole's black, then he black too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, once that was not working, nigga wants to flip the script. All of a sudden now it's like, yo, by the way, you're a playground sniper. And I'm just like, yo, first of all, that's a shitty thing to do because, like, what the f? Like, you have no evidence on that to say that.
Yeah.
But then you realize that this shit is not working, so then you go for the worst possible thing nowadays, which is a fucking playground sniper. Because there's nothing worse than being a fucking playground sniper nowadays. You know what I mean?
But I'll say something, and I'll play devil's advocate, I guess, on the behalf, because I'm from Toronto, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be devil's advocate. People will say he never bought that shit in until he started talking about man's wife and kids.
Okay, but isn't that what rappers do?
Yeah. So you said, once the gloves came off and Drake started talking about, Day Free and all type of shit, people, and this is what I'm saying, people were going to say in the comments, that's when Kendrick came back with all the PDF file stuff and all that other shit.
Okay, but like, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might have been really young. When Eminem is beefing with Ja Rule, and I was very young, by the way, like I was like 4 years old, so I don't know. But like when Eminem is beefing like with Ja Rule, weren't they doing the same shit? But like back then there was a, it's kind of like the same thing with the street shit. Like back then it was like no women, no children.
Yeah, because once you mention Haley in any Eminem rap or like a Eminem diss, Eminem's not even trying to like diss you on the track. Like he's trying to find you. Back in them days, like
that's cool. Like
he gun butted somebody, a member of Insane Clown Posse or one of their entourage because of I think a Haley mentioned in one of their raps.
Yeah, and I can understand that. Like I'm not a father or anything like that, but I understand that.
Yeah,
I can understand if Kendrick did that.
Yeah.
But yo, making up some fucking lie and calling a guy a playground sniper
to
win a fucking rap diss, that's like the corniest mesquite thing I've ever seen in my life. Like personally, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not even about like the it's just like I don't know, like when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, it's just like I just see him as like I just don't like that guy.
You know,
personally.
You know what's funny, and I got a couple other topics I want to get to before we get off of this, right? Or before we end our conversation.
Yeah.
With all the things that are happening in 2024, all the people who are catching cases, Dirk, Diddy, you know what I mean? There's another big case that I'm not remembering, right? And everything that they say about Drake, notice he ain't got no case, but everybody else got cases.
And everybody else is aligned with those cases.
Yeah. He hasn't been
like
no
everybody
Diddy
has
parties.
ties. He's never been to no Diddy party,
right?
Or anything like that.
Right. They wanted to make a bunch of videos after this beef. Drake, PDF this, this person got a weird case. All kind of videos on Drake, but Drake ain't got no cases. Like all the rest of these guys.
And like people
Metro
are gonna say,
Boomin just got one.
Oh, for real?
Yes.
Wait. What did Metro Boomin get
impregnating
with?
a chick.
Huh?
Bro, there's a Metro Boomin just got a
not Young Metro on the beat.
I have it here on my list. Metro
not
got a weird
Young
case.
Metro on the beat.
Metro Boomin sued for alleged sexual battery, alleged impregnating women or a woman. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's what sparked the thought, because I was thinking to myself, all these guys got weird cases for real. Yeah. But they try to say Drake is the weirdo, but he ain't got no cases.
And people are gonna say, oh, he's too powerful, right?
Come on.
People are gonna say that, but it's like, bro, nobody's
They got the most powerful people in the world right now.
Like nobody's more powerful than fucking Puff Daddy, bro. Wow. Like that guy is the biggest, like, most powerful mogul, one of the most powerful moguls in hip hop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just something that I'm like,
I don't know.
All
like,
y'all
and
got
especially
cases,
like in Toronto,
but Drake ain't got no case, but you're calling him the weirdo.
And especially like in Toronto, it's like, there's a lot of people that like hate on Drizzy in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, here's a man who's like, bro, this guy was an actor on Degrassi, but he's rapping on the side. And when people found out he was rapping on the side, his own city, like this city, his own city started clowning me. Yo, that light-skinned nigga from Degrassi raps?
I was
young. Like, I was really young.
No, I was right there when they were
hating there.
It.
Bro, I remember my older cousins, bro, who are about like maybe your age. Like, he was like saying like, one of the guys was bumping Drake. His early stuff. And so guy's like, yo, that light-skinned nigga from Degrassi raps. Yo, that shit's ass. Turn that shit off, blah, blah.
Soft ass nigga.
Soft ass, yo, he's, bro, light-skinned. Like, bro, like he should just stick to acting for the white people.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I didn't understand it because I was young, so I didn't think anything about it. Bro, this is what the majority of people were doing. His own people. Screwface Capital, like you say.
That's the time when it was Screwface Capital.
Screwface Capital.
Yes.
The man makes it, blows up. The biggest rapper in the world currently. He could have easily said, yo, fuck all of this shit. These guys were not riding for me.
Yeah.
My own city was not riding for me. They did not fuck with me. So I'm not going to fuck with them. And he could fake front and pretend to be some kind of LA guy.
Yeah.
Or what, his dad is from what? Memphis. Could fake front, pretend to be Memphis.
Yeah.
901 Shelby Drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he could easily do all that shit. But yo, there's not a single person on, like, figure in Toronto that puts on for Toronto more than Drake.
That's
like, he's the number one. Like, bro, Friday, all of my, like, majority of my friends, bro, that do content, they have careers because of him. He's collabed with them. He's done videos with them.
Yeah.
These are guys that I'm friends with, bro.
Yeah.
And they have prospering careers.
Yeah.
Because and he didn't have to, by the way. Like, he didn't have to. He took the time out of his day to do that shit.
Yeah.
And like, when I see that, I'm like, yo, that's... So like, when I see people like hating, like, what the fuck are you mad at? Because he didn't do that for you? Is that why
That's
people
exactly
are mad?
what it is.
You think, but like, yo, how is he gonna do that shit for everybody?
Well,
like, make your own little buzz. He's gonna see, like, if you do your own little thing, he has a respect for talent. When he sees talent, you're proof of it.
No, he
watches your podcast.
Sometimes. Yeah.
He's a fan of your podcast. He's told you like all the time, like, yo, I fuck with your shit.
Yeah.
So if you're doing your own thing and you're making your buzz and you're doing your thing, he has an eye for talent.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a lot of people in this business, in the entertainment business, fucking egos, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I went to a event last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's called DreamCon. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I've heard of DreamCon.
DreamCon is like all the black YouTubers. It's like an event for all the black YouTubers.
Yeah.
Okay? And then everybody comes to see the I got invited to go there last year.
Nice.
Right? So they invited me and they're like, yo, bro, we love your shit. Come on down. They didn't even know I was from Toronto. They're like, yo, what state are you in? I'm like, no. I'm across the border.
Yeah.
Like, you're in Canada? I'm like, yeah. He's like, they got black people there? Whatever. You know what I mean? Because they're southern guys.
I've heard
Texas.
this before. It's not even I've heard that in New York. But keep going.
Yeah. So they invite me down to go there, right? And I meet all the big black people. Kai's there, Drewski, Gideon, like everybody's there. You know what I mean? And some of them are cool fucking people. Like some of them are dope.
Yeah.
Like I had a conversation with a lot of dope. Like some of them are really cool and some of them are dope. And I had a conversation with a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they go like, yo, yeah, like this is the first time I'm like, yo, they're a fan of me. Like face to face, they're telling me like how much they appreciate me and I appreciate them.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, some of these guys I grew up watching, like when I was in middle school, high school. So, but a lot of people also have a fucking ego because, dude, these guys have millions of subscribers, millions of followers.
Yeah.
They could take a shit in a toilet and a million people will watch it.
Yeah.
So they have fucking an ego through the roof, and some of them are really young, way younger than me.
Yeah.
Like 19. So they have an ego through the roof, you know? And that's just, and I realized when I went there and I met a lot of them, I realized what this business was. Like it's an ego business. It's a clout fest. And to see a guy and so circling it back, to see a guy who's literally on top of the fucking world, bro, can't make any more money.
Yeah.
Like he could, but he doesn't. Like he doesn't need to.
He bets like $1 million. Bro.
Yeah. Like money to him is like he doesn't need to make any more money.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to sell another album. Like he's good. Like 10 fucking Grammys, 10 diamond records, however many diamond records he has. He doesn't need to do anything else. If he could put it down right now, retire, and everything is good. He has a love for what he does, so he keeps doing it. And 2, he has an appreciation for where he comes from and appreciation for the talent and where he comes from.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't look at you and say like, yo, bro, good shit. How the fuck can you then be like, I don't like that guy because he didn't do, like, you should have an appreciation for what you've seen him doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of those people are bums, bro.
I don't get that, bro.
That be mad at Drake from home. Outside, that's their whatever other issues. But people from home.
Whatever. From home, I don't get it. Like, if you're outside, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if you're from here, have you seen what this guy has done for people here?
They haven't benefited from the exposure that he's given to our city, and they're just mad at their own shortcomings.
So that's fake. Because, bro, if you just care for what he can do for you, that's fucking fake. Instead of appreciating what he's done for our city, that's fake. And like, you really saw it come out during the Kendrick and Drake beef. When that beef started, you really saw those people from the Toronto that were coming out and saying this shit. And it's just like, some of them are just trying to troll just for the sake of trolling.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But some of them genuinely are just like fucking hating.
Yeah, they're fake hating though, because low key, all those people, they can say whatever they want, but if Drake reached out to them,
100%.
Their whole tune will change 100%. In a second.
That's why I'm saying it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of niggas are just fake. They're fake pretending like they don't, but as soon as, to me, that shit's fake, bro. Because I met a lot of people like that, where it's like, yo, once you do something for me, we're cool.
Yeah.
But like, before then, I don't fuck with you. But now all of a sudden, it's like, yo, you gave me a feature, you know?
Yeah.
On a video or a song or whatever. Now it's like, oh, we're brethren.
A lot of people, and I don't want to make it an indictment on y'all generation, but a lot of y'all get in your feelings too much about stuff that happens in here.
Okay.
Content shit. Because it's all content. Anything that goes into the phone, to me, is content.
Okay.
But then people get emo about content, like not doing collabs and shit like that, and then getting super, like I see it in not doing an interview, like the the type of crazy comments that people have, or not comments, DM people have sent me after. And it's like, bro.
For what? Not getting an interview?
Yeah. And I've seen it in my request section.
They threaten you? Like, yo, I didn't get an interview?
Threatened. I've gotten called all kind of goofs. Oh, you're sleeping on the man them. Watch when I see you. Like, bro.
I'm not laughing at anybody like serious, by the way.
No, but like you can take it to another level, and I've seen those DMs, and I'm never gonna link you. Even if you become bigger than Drake, I'll never want to talk to you because of those interactions from when you were like in your fields early, and you felt like nobody was fucking with you.
So wait, you don't believe in like forgiveness?
It depends on what it is, because I have interviewed people who I've had issues with in the past. You know what I'm saying? But if you threaten me, I'm not going to interview you.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. You threaten somebody and you threaten their family.
Yeah, like I don't want to link up with you and like, oh, now it's supposed to be cool, because I know a lot of times people run around with burners. So like I'm
100%.
I'm not going to go by the unpredictability of somebody who has nothing to lose.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
We're in the generation of crash outs.
Exactly.
I think our generation is like, it's like you said, like very emotional. Like very smart.
Yes, extremely smart.
Very smart. Like we understand how this world works, right? Very artistically creative.
Yes.
Like,
I know how to monetize your creations.
Yeah, very well, right? But get in our feelings a lot. Like definitely, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be the music we listen to. It might just be, I don't know what it is, bro. But like I agree with you on that. Like we get
this is interacting with your growth at the same time. Okay? And I don't want to sound like the old head, but like I'll just give just why I think, right? Just real shit.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I didn't have this to deal with at the same time. I keep on pointing for my listening audience at the phone. Yeah. Okay? So I didn't have these extra external things to influence me or to look at. I didn't have comment sections, all these different things that I get in my feels as a man in his 40s at the comments, but I don't deal with it as the way, like I don't respond to shit, but I get it. I get an emotional reaction, but imagine I had to deal with that while I'm growing up, while I'm developing. You know what I'm saying? I know how to deal with all this shit because there was a time before when I was growing up when none of this shit existed. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in high school getting bullied by the bully in high school and then getting bullied online afterwards. So imagine that's all happening while your frontal cortex, which all of us have real fully grown frontal cortexes, just to bring that back, you know what I'm saying? Right?
Just had to let that be known.
Right? But imagine while our frontal cortex is growing, all of these different things that are coming in from social media are also going into that growth.
Yeah.
Come on, fam. It's going to make me and you deal with things differently, bro.
Yeah.
Or our generations, I mean.
We're more, like there's more stuff that we're seeing.
Yes.
So like at any given moment, bro, there could be somebody hating on you. Like maybe before when you're growing up, it's like if some nigga wants to hate on you.
I had to meet them to know that they're even hating on me.
But now,
or somebody had to tell somebody for them to tell me that they're hating on me.
Yeah.
That would be the only way. Now you can know that somebody's hating on you.
From your bedroom.
And if you're popping, bro, it seems like 10 times more people are hating on you. You don't even have to be a content creator. You could just be the lit kid in your school who has like a good 20 pack of followers on your Instagram. Now you have to deal with the hate of just having that.
For everything you do, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, yo, when I take sponsors to do like whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like I'll take sponsors for like a video or like a stream or whatever.
Yeah.
Instant hate.
Of course.
It's like, yo, you're a sellout.
Of course.
You're this. Like, yo. But like, and like, the people will try to hate for any reason, but then like you try to explain to them, it's like, yo, I have a channel to run.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of this shit is free. All the staff, like, all the editing, like, this got to get paid for in some way.
Yeah.
So sometimes, yeah, we're gonna take sponsors, but yo, I'm a Muslim. Like, I'm not gonna take sponsors like gambling. I'm not gonna do a gambling sponsor, period. Even if I wasn't a Muslim.
Bacon sponsor.
You know, like Friday, bro, I've gotten offer. I don't even know if I should be saying this. Brother, I've gotten offers from like big gambling companies. Some of them definitely know.
Yeah.
You probably definitely heard of it. I don't even need to say them.
5-letter words with an S on the end.
Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
And they offer a lot of money. Like these gambling companies offer a shit ton of money. Right? But every single time I get offered like whatever, like an offer on to sponsor gambling, right? And some of them will offer you like in the 5 figures, the highest I've gotten, well into the 5 figures to promote gambling, right? On my channel.
Yeah.
For like a month, like 3 videos. I turn it down every time.
Big salute to Steamin' Hot Grabba with a variety of different Grabba flavors and dispensers. They got red rose Grabba, that red herring Grabba, and peanut butter. Hit them up on their Instagram page, Steamin' Hot Grabba, and use the code WeLoveHipHop and receive a discount on your order. Again, you can find them on Instagram, Steamin' Hot Grabba. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah. Damn.
Like, and I get this regularly, but I turn it down every time. One, bro, like, I'm a Muslim. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a Muslim man, bro. I can't, there's no way I could go to my mosque. I go to my mosque like every Friday.
Yeah.
There's no way I can go to my mosque, look my imam straight in the eye and tell him, yo, I did a gambling deal.
They'll see it.
Like my imam, like he sees what I do.
Yeah.
He's proud of me, right? But like, there's no way like I could do that.
Yeah.
Like I would be a hypocrite to myself and my own beliefs. 2, bro, I'm fully aware that most people that are watching me, kids. Like teenage kids, bro. 13 to like 19, maybe like up to 25 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like young people, bro. There's no like people your age watching what I do.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah,
they don't like it.
Yeah.
Right? They don't either understand it or there's a few, but they don't either understand it or they don't like it. So there's fewer people. It's mostly
you can see your analytics too.
Yeah, you can see it, bro. That 18 to 24 year old is hella. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for me, I think it's like 60, 70%.
Wow.
Right? So most of them are young kids, right? And some of them are not even that, some of them are even younger, but
13 to 16.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they don't want to write that they're younger because they're going to get blocked from some content, right? So I understand that. So yo, why would I want to advertise gambling to my young audience? That's like so dangerous.
Yeah.
People have done that shit before. Like you've seen it before. Like the Rice Scums, Jake Pauls, bro. They've done that. They've done that before. How has that ended up for them?
Well,
terribly.
People hate them, but they're still super famous and rich and whatever.
Yeah, but
so
if you
they
think
don't care,
about
I
it,
think.
if you think about it, like they're still super rich, right? But a lot of them they had to pivot. Like Jake Paul used to make vlogs.
Yeah.
This is the thing that a lot of people don't understand. It's like in the content game, you have to really adapt, like you said.
You have to know
adaptability is key, right? You got to know what era you're in. Right now, we're in the clip era. You know this, and I know this.
Yes.
This is the clip era. If you have a clip that you can upload to the internet that people can pick up and share, people will come to see what you have to say and see your large scale content.
Yeah.
And TikTok started that. This is the clip era that we're in. People will do anything for a clip. Niggas will jump over cars. They'll light fireworks in the room.
Yeah.
Just to get a clip, you know? So that's the era that we're in. Right? So you gotta understand like what the fuck is going on. Like where you are at, what era you're in, where you're at in terms of like your content creation experience. Otherwise, you're gonna like a lot of these who are names that were here but now are not here anymore. Like, I don't know, like who's a good example?
Dr. Disrespect just got canceled this year.
He got canceled. Somebody who's like really old school, like Ray William Johnson. Like he was really big when I was younger, but now he doesn't make stuff anymore because you have to keep up with the times, you know?
Yeah.
So I say all of that to say that when it comes to making content, right? A lot of people do not understand like really what goes into it, right? I don't like Jake Paul and maybe his brother, but they're very smart because if you think like, if you remember Jake Paul 8 years ago, he was making like vlogs.
Yeah.
Like he was going around making vlogs.
Going to different countries and shit.
Right?
Yeah.
His audience, first of all, he's really smart. Like he's very smart. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he was making vlogs. My little brother was like 10 years old. He's a big Jake Paul fan and big Logan Paul fan.
Yeah.
He's screaming, Maverick, all this shit. Jake Paul's the best.
Maverick
Paul
mentality.
versus Paul. Yeah. So then he was a big fan of him. My little brother now just turned 18 years old. Okay? He's a man now. He has a job. He's in university. He's not going to watch those little stupid little vlog videos that Jake Paul
he's
used
watching
to make.
Impulsive now.
Exactly. So Logan Paul is smart because he made his Impulsive podcast. Now, his audience that grew up, that's something that they'll be interested in. It's like Impulsive.
Yeah.
Jake Paul used to make these silly little vlogs. Now what does Jake Paul do? He's a boxer.
He's a boxer. And I think, is it Jake or Logan who's in the WWE?
Logan Paul, I think it's Logan Paul is in WWE.
Yeah. So they're hitting all demographics with that whole industry over there too.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. So that's kind of what, like, they're very smart. Like, I feel like if they weren't smart like that, when they were doing all those gambling things, the scamming and that kind of shit, it would have been career ending.
Were or are? It's kind of still happening.
Well, some say they still are. But I feel like they're doing a very good job at like hiding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But back then it was like you could clearly tell. But now they make laws and everything now. Like they've passed laws where these things can happen.
Now being hated is part of their economy.
Yeah.
Like I
Do you think
they're
they're really hate? I don't even think they're really hate. Like
they have an audience that likes their shit, obviously, that watches them, watches Impulsive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's also an economy on making hate Jake Paul videos or expose Jake Paul videos. They know this too. So they know that they have a percentage of their audience that's hate watching them.
They play into that.
Yeah, and they don't mind. You know what I'm saying? KSI went through his whole thing with the everybody hating a song, but the amount of numbers, the song is shit as hell.
That song is shit, by the way.
And it has like something like 2.9 million dislikes, right?
I can understand why.
But the number itself on the view count is crazy. So
yeah, it's got like over 20 M's, right?
Something like that. If I look it up now, I'm sure it's probably even has more than that. So even if it's a hate thing, he made his money.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
People are streaming that song and they're definitely watching that shit.
And then leading into the content of people hating on it, makes it where it makes it more money. You know what I'm saying? So I think those guys have kind of evolved into the love-hate department.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have their core fans and they have their haters and they mix them together and make the money.
Makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense, yeah.
Let me ask you a couple questions on our city or on our country before we end our convo here.
Okay.
Because you deal with like content dealing with like, you know, racism and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Is Canada a racist country? And tell me why if you think yes.
I can't speak for all of Canada,
Mm-hmm.
but I can speak for like Toronto and the GTA. I haven't been to Vancouver. I haven't been to Alberta.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to Montreal, respectfully. So I don't know how it is over there.
Montreal's racist, but continue.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely racist. Like you can't even, if you don't speak French and at McDonald's, they're not going to serve you.
Yeah.
I heard like that's really bad. But in Toronto, in Canada is a racist country, but they're just really good at masking it. So, and I could just tell you my experiences growing up. So in the US, like some guy will come up to you flat out and just call you what he wants to call. Like he'll call you a hard R, call you whatever he wants, right? If they're mad enough at you.
Yeah.
In Canada, that rarely happens. Sometimes you'll see like on 6 Buzz or whatever, like, you know what I mean? But that rarely happens. In Canada, it's more so like, okay, I don't like you, but I'm going to it's closet racism. So what I noticed growing up was, and it's not even just racist with like white people. It's everybody.
Yeah.
When I grew up in Brampton, bro, it's mostly Indians. So like, it wasn't like there was a bunch of white people being racist at me. It was mostly like Indians being racist at me. You know what I mean? So, I remember the first time I experienced like a racist incident was probably like when I think maybe it was in the 7th grade. Some guy I was really good friends with, he was like handing out birthday invitations. And I was waiting for my invitation because I'm really good friends with him. And he's like, nah, you can't come. And I said, why? Like, we're really good friends. I thought he's trolling. He's like,
what's his nationality?
He's an Indian guy.
Wow.
So he's like, yo, you can't come. And I said, I thought he's playing games with me.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, give me the fucking thing. Like, you know what I mean? And he's like, no, seriously, you can't come. I said, why? He's like, my parents do not want a black person in the house. Like, they don't want black people in the house because they're scared you're going to steal something. And I'm like, and I didn't even get mad because I didn't understand racism at the time.
Yeah.
So I didn't get mad. I thought they just didn't know. They just mistook me for somebody else that maybe stole something. So I was like, but you know I'm not going to steal anything. Like, he's like, I know, but my parents just, they don't want anybody that looks like you.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, that was when I first understood, like, damn, I think I was like 11, 10 years old. That's when I first understood, like, damn. So this is what it is. Like, this is like what it is to discriminate somebody.
Yeah.
You know? So I understood. So those were a majority of my experiences. Like, you know what I mean? People telling me that.
That's insane that it's not with white people, like what people would stereotypically think.
No, there's still like racism with white people.
Yes.
Right? Like,
but your first experience was with a brown guy.
Yeah, because I was living I was in Brampton.
That's so wild.
Like I moved to Brampton when I was like 6, 7 years old, you know? So that was my first experience with an Indian guy, right? But there's obviously, I see racism with white people too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, when my brother was going to school and I was dropping him off at school, like 10 years ago, okay? He was young. He's like 8 years old. I'm walking him to school. There's 2 schools in our neighborhood. There were 2 schools. There was the regular public school with all of the Indian kids, black kids, Asian kids. And then there was the Catholic school. I walked him one day. I was walking. The schools are right next to each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at the kids going into the school. You know how they line up? On one side, I'm only seeing like white kids lining up to go into the Catholic school.
Yeah.
And then in the other line, I'm just seeing like Indians, mostly Indians, but like black kids. Asian. And then that's when I realized, yo, this is like Canada is a closet racist country. Like, yo, I'm not gonna tell you that I don't like you, but like, I don't want my son going to the same school as you, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like put him in like, I'm gonna pretend like I'm way more Christian than I actually am and put him in a Catholic school with only white kids.
That's deep, yo.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't see that? You didn't see any of this?
No, like, I know. I just wanted to hear you from your generation, the way you see it, because like the closeted racism that you talk about is like, yeah, I'm not going to call you with an ER, a nigga with an ER.
Yeah.
But
because you might end up in one.
Exactly, but I'm not going to give you a job. You know what I'm saying?
That's like systematic.
Yeah,
that's on a systematic level.
I'll take your black dick when it comes to all of those white chicks that I've smashed back in the days over the years, but you can't come home and meet my parents because they don't like black people.
Type shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Or they won't even tell you that they don't like black people. They'll just never bring you home to their parents.
Yeah. I had a couple girlfriends that were like, yo, if my dad found out, I would, you know?
Yeah.
But they weren't even white. They were like different, like Lebanese, Moroccan, like, you know what I mean? They were different.
And it just shows that there's, you know, prejudice from all different races. One more thing I want to ask you even about, like, I guess, race and immigration and stuff, because, you know, you're a product of immigration, I am too. But our country has gotten a super heavy influx of immigration over the last 3-4 years, right? 1 million a year. You're in Brampton, you see a lot of Indian people. 56% of them are Indian people that have come into the country.
Yeah, it was, when I was there, it was bad. Even back then, like, it's bad now, but like when I was there in Brampton, it was like.
What are your thoughts on like even just the way that we've been like clashing? Because we've been interacting but clashing at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have Indian friends, but then I'm sure you see online all of those different commentaries when guys are like, you know, posting on Keep6ixSolid in different places and saying, yo, brown guy said, yo, don't come to my house, or, you know, just like you just mentioned to me just now. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are your views on this conflict that we're having?
I mean, like, first of all, I don't look at people in a group sense. I look at as an individual.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna hate Indians because of what this kid's Indian parents said about me.
Mm-hmm. And also, let me add on something quick, fast before you give me your answer.
Yeah.
The reputation that they've been getting, like shitting on the beach and all this other shit.
I haven't seen that.
Like, I haven't neither. But
Yeah.
what do you think about the viral post that I'm sure you've seen about all of these different things? Do you think it's a
Okay, so from a content creator perspective, anything you do talking about Indians is gonna get clicks and is gonna get views and is gonna get interactions.
I'm asking you now.
So this is why he's talking about it right now. Because it's gonna get, people are gonna watch it. So, especially in Canada, this is the hot topic, right?
It is.
So it's gonna, a lot of pages will post about it, and I'm friends with a lot of these pages. Let me make it that 100% clear. Okay? I've met a lot of these pages. I shook their hand. Like, I know these guys. Okay? I know and they know that this stuff gets interaction, engagement, clicks. So that's part of the reason why you see it all everywhere. Okay? Now, in terms of, so the viralness is, I feel like, less about, obviously it's, people have a reason to feel the way they do, but a lot of it is, you see a lot of it because of the amount of engagement that it gets.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, right? Because sometimes it's not even like what people are saying, but people will spin it in a way where it's like, okay, this is what's happening. So it's an engagement thing. And I get it because I'm a content creator. So I understand, like, click-through rate is everything. So I get it. So that's partly the real thing, one of the things. Now, in terms of my personal experience, I'm not going to hate on Indians because of what this one person did.
Yeah.
Like, I look at it from everybody's an individual.
Yeah.
If you look at it, people as like a group, like, oh, one black person stole from me, so now all black people are going to steal from me.
Yeah.
If you live like that, first of all, that's unhealthy, because like you're giving yourself trauma for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're giving yourself anxiety and trauma for no reason. So now all of a sudden you see a black person, you're going to be scared.
Yeah.
Like, that's silly. That's a silly way of thinking, right? So I don't look at it from that way. I can still be cool with Indians because this was one idol or a couple idol incidents, but majority of them never did that shit.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that. I think our country is in a very sticky position. I'm the product of immigration, like you said.
Yeah,
my parents are
me
not
too.
from this country.
Yeah.
I'm the son of immigrants.
Yeah.
Okay? If my parents were not in this country, I couldn't be doing what I do. I couldn't be having this conversation with you. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. Like, I couldn't have the career that I'm having. Bro, I'd be on a beach somewhere, smoking chat. Okay, I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
It's like cocoa leaf.
Okay.
And they smoke it in Somalia. Okay. And probably just minding my own business. You know what I mean? That's what that's what I'd probably be doing right now.
Yeah.
At its best. At its worst, I might be starving. I might be civil wars. There's still kind of unrest in the country a little bit, So, I understand wanting to come to the country for a better life, right? It's going to be a little bit controversial, but I understand coming to the country for a better life because that's what my parents did. And they gave me an opportunity to have a fair shot at life.
Yeah.
And I took advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
100%. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And I look at people who don't take advantage of that opportunity as like, that's crazy. Like, your life could have turned out so many, like, this is to all the first generation, second generation. If your parents didn't come to this country, your life could have been so much different.
Facts.
Just think about, I think about it all the time. Like, what if my parents didn't take that last commercial jet here? Or commercial plane here? My life would have been so much different. There's no fucking way I'd be able to record like the shit that you see me doing.
Yeah.
How the hell would I be able to do that? There's no way that I'd be able to do that, right? So my quality of life most certainly would have been lower. So my parents gave me a shot at life in this country. And I never understood it until I got older. they gave me a shot at life in this country, and I took full advantage of that. The opportunities that I was given.
Yeah.
Okay? Maybe I didn't become a doctor like how my mom wanted me to become.
Yeah.
Right? But I made it 100% certain of myself from the time I was like 17. I made it 100% clear. Yo, I'm gonna be successful. And I'm gonna be the best at what I do. Whatever it is that I plan to do.
It is, yeah.
I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be dedicated at it. I'm gonna be the best. And I'm gonna chase that no matter what, to the point of insanity, to the point of success. I did that, right? So I'm grateful for immigration. I'm grateful for this country for giving me that. That's why I'm so passionate. Like, I'm so unapologetically Toronto.
Yeah.
I'm so unapologetically Canadian, to the point where like people are like, yo, don't you have a home country? Yeah, I'm unapologetically that as well. You know, I understand my culture and where I come from, but I appreciate this country a lot for giving me this opportunity.
So where's the controversial part?
So the controversial part is that they have a problem with the immigration, right? A lot of Canadians, not just like white Canadians or whatever. A lot of Canadians have a problem with the immigration because they feel like a lot of people are coming to the country specifically from one area. And I kind of agree with them. Like, there's a lot of people coming to the country from one specific area, and there's not a lot of immigrants that are coming from different places.
It's 56%. Right?
Yeah. So I feel like Canada does a bad job vetting the type of immigrants that come into our country. Like, there's a lot of things I don't like about America, but I respect their immigration policy to a degree. We don't take anything but the best of the best. That's how America is. If I want to get a visa to go to the States to live permanent residency, and you do too, even for us, even though we're Canadians, we have all these laws and treaties between our countries, it's still hard. It's still going to take like at least a year, 2 years.
No, like more like 5, bro.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
The reason is because they only want the best of the best. Canada, I feel like and this is why we're loved in the world. If you show a Canadian flag everywhere in the world, they mistake it as a medic because we're peacekeepers and we're medics everywhere in the world and we help. The same way with our immigration, like we take people in for a better life. Yeah. That's how we operate it. Yeah. The problem is we've gotten to a point now where we're taking so much immigrants that we're not giving them a better life. Yeah. Like a lot of these immigrants, bro, they're like international students, fam. I have a friend that has a house. Rents it. There's like 20 people sleeping in the house.
Jesus Christ.
And it's like the house is for like 4 people, 5 people. Yeah. There's 20 people in there.
That's insane.
So what kind of quality of life is that? You know what I mean? You're bringing in so much people that the quality of life is not good for these people, to the point where some of them go back. Yeah. They say, yo, I don't even want to be here. Like I was sold a dream that's not true. Yeah. And they go back, bro. That's how bad it's gotten. Right? And I don't feel like Canadians have a problem with immigration. Canada loves immigration. Like, I feel like Canadians love the idea of walking through downtown Toronto and seeing people from all walks of life. Yeah, yeah. Because they have a different story to tell. You know? Yeah. And I feel like the average Canadian loves that. Obviously, you're going to have some racist people that are not going to like that and they want it to be white. Yeah. But like, the average Canadian loves to walk down the street and see people from every walk of life, every country. You know? They love that idea. The average Canadian. You know what I mean? What they don't like is when the immigration favors a certain group of people and those certain people are predominantly the people that are coming in. Yeah. Like there needs to be a cap to that shit. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think you're saying something that's controversial. I think you're saying something a lot of, some people will, but a lot of people I think will agree with what you're saying, because it's one thing to have 1 million people coming in a year, which is crazy. Yeah. Or every few years, which is crazy. But if it's 56% just all one country
from a specific place in the country,
yeah, then it's like, one, it looks like a conspiracy. Yeah. And two, it makes an imbalance in our multicultural community. You know what I'm saying?
Because Toronto is like the most multicultural. Is it still the most multicultural city in the world?
It is.
It still is, right?
But if it keeps on at the rate with this, you know, and I keep on saying the 56%, right?
Yeah.
Then it's not going to look multicultural anymore.
Oh, it definitely
It's going to look like India with a few other people mixed around.
I feel like it already doesn't look like I went to the CNE for the first time this year in years. And like, it's just like one group of people predominantly, you know what I mean? And people are coming from the States and they're like Ada Ross.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ada Ross.
He said it in a pretty abrasive way, but when I did post a video about that, instead of backlash, people were like, yeah, he's right. W. Aiden. Aiden's a real Canadian now. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Shout out to Aiden Ross. Shout out to Aiden Ross. Just be careful, brother. Just be careful with what you say. You know what I mean?
I guess.
But shout out to Aiden Ross. But yeah, no. So I feel like that's what people have a problem with, bro. Because like when I was growing up, you would see people from that's why like I know every country. Like the average American can't name 5 South American countries. I can name them all because I have friends from each and every one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Canadians love the idea of just walking the street and just seeing people from like different looking people from everywhere and then going up to them and going like, yo, so tell me about your story. Tell me about your country.
Yeah.
And then you get to learn about what's happening and you get to be educated. Like I feel like Canadians love that, but like what they don't like is seeing the same thing over and over again refurbished. At some point, our government just decided, for whatever reason, I don't know the reason.
That's where the conspiracy comes in.
To bring these specific groups of people predominantly from this one area, right? So, yeah, I'm not mad at a lot of the Canadians that have a problem with the immigration issue because I do think it's an issue. And I think it's an issue as well because they're coming to the country. And I don't even think it's a problem that they're coming to the country. They're coming to one specific part of the country.
Yeah.
Like
Brampton.
if the government made like a mandate saying like, yo, okay, you can come, but we're going to give you money and a lot of the land out west that nobody's using, that's where we're going to settle you. You and all these other people. I feel like and that's obviously hard to do because that's borderline communist.
Yeah, but I got to stop you there because it feels like that because of being in Brampton. But it's not just only there, bro.
No, like I'm not even in Brampton anymore, right? Like I'm just talking like Toronto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was in Brampton, they were all like Indians were always there.
Yeah.
Right? But now it's like everywhere in the GTA.
Yeah.
Pretty much, right? And so I'm saying like if the government, Canadian government is like, yo, listen, we want you guys to come here and have a better life. There's so much land out west. In like Saskatchewan that nobody's living in, we're gonna put you there. And I think the US even does it too. With like immigrants. They move them to a specific place. Yeah. Right? You have all your resources, you have everything. But if you give people a choice, they're just gonna group in one specific area.
Everybody's gonna come to Toronto or the GTA.
So why does the government not take these people and move them out west where nobody's living at?
And not out west to Surrey. Okay? Like there's a bunch in the middle. There's a bunch of space in the middle of this country.
Where's Surrey? Oh, Surrey's in
That's in Vancouver, in British Columbia.
Oh, okay.
One of the Vancouver surrounding areas.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Vancouver
saying?
GTA. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm talking like Saskatchewan. I'm talking like Manitoba. Like you move them.
I just have to make that clear because if you say like move them to Vancouver, move them all
already there.
Like, oh no. Back the other way. We're good over here. There's mad shootings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know. Do you feel like it's the same or a lot? I've said that before,
I completely agree with what you're
saying.
saying.
But like people think that that's like borderline like communist. Like they don't think that that's like a democracy should be able to do that.
We had multiple conversations on this platform, and I think once I found that number out through a YouTube video of like 1 million, from 400,000 to 1 million is what it changed to.
Yeah,
that's how I was like, oh well, there's the problem. You guys are letting too many people into the country. They're letting
too many people, and then like there's just not enough housing. There's not enough, and especially if they're just moving to Toronto and the GTA. Brother, there's not enough housing. There's not enough infrastructure to accommodate all these people.
Hence why a 1-bedroom's like $2,200 a month.
Ridiculous. It's more like 26 now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And people can't live. And so I can understand like why there's a lot of people in Canada that are like, yo, these other people are coming before me.
Yeah.
I'm born here.
Yeah,
I live here.
but it's not those people's fault. It's the
not their
government's
fault. They just want a fair shot at life.
Exactly.
Some of them like come here and abuse the system and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The ones that do that, we all know those. And some of them don't assimilate. And the ones that do that, like, we all know those. Like, nobody likes those.
Yeah.
There's Indian people that don't like Indians that are fucking doing some of the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm friends with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is, like, I feel like there is a large demographic of people that just want to have the opportunity to live, bro.
Yeah.
Like my parents did.
Yeah.
They want the opportunity
mine
to
too.
have a good, thriving life
Mm-hmm.
so that their kids don't have to grow up in a war-torn country
Yeah.
or grow up in corruption, you know what I mean? In the slums.
Yeah.
That's all they want. And I get that, right? But if the government made a better accommodation for these people, we're the second biggest country in the world. What the fuck is everyone moving to the GTA?
Yeah.
I don't get it, bro. In this small little southern part of Ontario.
It's not even the whole of Ontario.
It's not even all of Ontario. Like, why don't you move these people to Lindsay, Ontario, fam?
No, you know what? Let me stop you again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get comments, yo, bro, it's getting crazy in Timmins over here. I'm like, what? For real? For real? I'm there reading the comment like, damn. Okay. I stand corrected. You know what I'm saying?
All the way up there?
Yo, bro, people have told me in the comments from different small towns. I'm like, yo, it's getting crazy in Coburg. I'm like, what? Coburg?
Coburg?
Okay. All right. Trudeau, fix this shit up.
I don't know, man. That's the only thing that he's not. Trudeau's been fucking up, bro. I almost lost what I did because they passed that bill, right? Of the Canadian whatever.
The
right?
news law. But let me ask you, even with that,
Yeah.
where do you think YouTube is going in the future? Like, as far as like, what do you think the next genre is going to be? That's going to be the hot shit that people are doing. Because right now we're very heavy into the commentary / documentary guys are getting off a lot of views.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But commentary is heavy right now.
Yeah. It's really big.
Yeah.
People like to listen to people like just talk.
Yeah, and
while they-
break down like anything that like it's going on. You could just go to a commentary video and see all of the shit together in one place.
Yeah, it's commentary. I mean, commentary has really been big since like 2015. So like for the past 10 years, it's been king.
Yeah.
Obviously, streaming has kind of become
Yes.
very big in the past, I want to say 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
But streaming has changed from like, because when I used to stream, well, I still stream. Why am I acting like I don't stream? But like when I first started streaming, like 2018,
Mm-hmm.
2019, streaming was different. Back then it was like you have to play a game.
Yeah.
People thought you were a loser, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it's like when you say I'm streaming, it's like, nigga, what are you gonna play? RuneScape? Like you're gonna be sitting there streaming a game? Like
they associate it with gaming.
with gaming.
Yeah.
Now streaming is so universal. You can stream, there's people that stream themselves sleeping.
Mm.
There's people that stream themselves doing anything. Kai is a perfect example.
Yeah.
He can stream anything.
Yeah.
And so it's become super universal, right? In terms of content creation, there's always been that like universe, like you can make videos on anything.
Mm-hmm.
But as of recently, I think the way YouTube is going now is, from what I've seen, is I really do feel like YouTube is going to become way more commercialized
Mm-hmm.
in the next 10 years. Like I can see a platform like YouTube becoming like Netflix.
Yeah.
It's gonna become, because the way YouTube is going right now is it's super commercialized,
Mhm.
almost like TV. You know, sponsors on every video,
Yeah.
ads on every video, high production. Like the
Yeah.
algorithm favors high production quality, 4K kind of style content
Mhm.
versus you just fooling around with your brother and recording it on your phone.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
those days of YouTube are over. Nowadays, it's like, okay, you want to make good videos that want to get views? This has to be high quality, high production.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of look at the stuff Mr. Beast is doing,
Yeah.
right?
They're like
Even though
little
he's in like his controversy or whatever.
But his content has yielded hundreds of millions of views.
Yeah.
Because of the crazy production value these guys.
The production quality that he's been able to put is like, that's the style of production quality. Obviously, there's certain communities like the commentary community that can get away with like lessening the quality.
Yeah.
But those communities are far and few between. The thing with YouTube is that like you have to understand what like there's a barrier to entry in certain communities. Not everybody can do what you're doing right now because you have mics, the barrier to entry to do podcast, to do what you're doing is relatively mid-level. Not high, but it's mid-level.
Yeah.
Because, well, one, you need the knowledge. You've been doing hip-hop for like, you've been a rapper, you've been in the hip-hop space for over 20 years.
Yes.
So you have that knowledge. Some people don't have, if somebody wants to get into hip-hop right now that doesn't know nothing, that wants to do what you're doing right now.
They're going to just sound crazy on the mic.
That don't know nothing. They're going to sound crazy because they don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
So a knowledge is a prerequisite. The equipment is a prerequisite. The editing is a prerequisite. Like these things are a prerequisite, right? So what you do and what I do is relatively mid-level. To be able to do like what Marquise Brownlee is doing, what Mr. Beast is doing, what some of these like big high production guys that like review supercars and review yachts and review big $25 million homes, the barrier to entry for that is super high. Not because not everybody, if you want to make a channel where you're reviewing yachts, how are you going to do that? Unless like you have a yacht to review or you know somebody with a yacht, which if you know somebody with a yacht, you have to be connected. So you have to be in the space. The barrier to entry to be able to do these things, that's at a high level. That's why those people get paid the most. They have the highest CPM for a reason. Right? Ours is a relatively mid-level because it's relatively mid-level. And then there's people with a low level, like that just make like shorts where they're dancing or like that make videos on like Minecraft or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? This is relatively low level because a lot of some of these online games, whatever the popular online, like what's the popular online game now? Like whatever, like Roblox, right? For example.
Roblox. I still see Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah, okay.
I still see people like, and I'm just watching just from people playing the games while they're doing their commentary videos. I still see a lot of like shooting games and shit.
Okay, so there's a lot of like free shooting games and like games like Roblox, right?
Yeah.
This is like relatively low barrier to entry because a lot of these games are free or very cheap, so anybody can buy them.
Yeah.
And the process to recording it is like very easy. You just gotta download OBS. It's a free, for anybody who does not know, OBS is a free, it's called Open Broadcast Software.
Yeah.
It's a free software. You can download it right now for free and you can record yourself playing whatever game you want. Put a commentary with a mic. It doesn't even have to be, you can use your phone.
Yeah.
And
you can use the laptop mic.
And like record yourself playing Roblox or Call of Duty and upload it to the internet. The barrier to entry to make that specific kind of content is super low. If you want that content, like just the bare minimum to make it. If you want it to get views, you got to hire thumbnail artists, you got to hire editors, that kind of stuff. To make it better. But the barrier to entry is low. If you just want to make it right now, you can make it. I can't just review a yacht right now if I want to.
Yeah.
I don't have one and I don't know anybody that has one.
You will eventually.
Eventually. We both will.
Yeah.
But right now I don't have that. So I couldn't make that content if I even wanted to. Forget about it at a high level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what you got to understand like about YouTube. So from what I see about YouTube now and what I'm seeing of the algorithm, it's favoring that higher level of content.
Yeah.
Take more time producing high quality stuff instead of just like, obviously if you're a news channel like you gotta keep pumping it out.
Yeah.
You know, if you do what you do.
Yeah.
Certain
but
channels
I'm still
have to
not
do
gonna
that.
put it out in 1080p anymore. Like I stopped doing 1080p like maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah.
You know
have
what I'm
to put
saying?
it, and you have a quality studio here, right?
Like, even if it's a quick news story, I still have to make sure that there's like the mic quality is good. I'm not
You
gonna
have to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're not fumbling your words, right?
And even for those guys that you're talking about that are at the lower levels, even their point of like entry is still a little bit higher than it used to be. Because even when I'm watching those videos with no person in the video, their mic quality is pretty good. Compared to like what it would be like 6 years ago.
Yeah. And that's because they enhance it so that they can get more viewership, right?
Yes.
Right?
All that is important now where it wasn't before. So YouTube, for what you're saying, is going to go higher and higher in quality.
YouTube is prioritizing more so commercial. It's more so commercially incentivized for you to take your time to create a quality piece of work that will get all the advertisers running to it.
You're right.
You can load the ads. They can make money. You take your time doing it. Everybody makes money in the end. You know what I mean? And so that's the direction that I see YouTube going in. So I can even see like in like the next 5 to 10 years, YouTube can even become something like a Netflix, where you're gonna have like, there's gonna be like maybe a specific tier of YouTube. Like there's gonna be a regular YouTube, but then there's gonna be the specific tier registered for only like the highest level of creators. Like maybe like a YouTube Originals or something like that.
Yeah. And
it's high level stuff.
I agree with you, and I can see where it's going because like I see like Flagrant with Andrew Schultz, right?
Yeah.
The way that it used to be just like more real podcast looking. Yeah. And now it looks like a talk show. The lighting is crazy. Like that's gonna be like, if you want to have a podcast, if it's not in 4K, then like
nobody's gonna care.
Nobody's gonna care.
Because there's tens of podcasts anyways. You know?
Exactly. Eventually, even with the microphone thing here, we might even just start doing just all like lavalier mics and setting up in elaborate rooms as we start getting more money to do that, because people are not going to be, they're not going to be as enticed by just seeing the same old setup. It always has to level up, or you're just gonna, the algorithm's just gonna drop you.
Yeah, they're gonna drop. It's gonna drop you, and it's like what we were talking about, adaptability.
Yes.
You have to adapt with the times.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those old people that don't want to adapt, you will get left behind. And that's why people say, "Yo, Captain, you've been doing this for like however many years, and you've only grown, and like you haven't like." There's people that started YouTube after me that have either got their shit terminated, quit. Or whatever, and they started after me.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm still going, and I'm still growing, and I'm still going strong, right?
Yeah.
In my like 6th year, 7th year, right?
And you're still in your infancy.
I'm still like I'm still in my prime.
Yeah.
Now, more than I've ever been.
I don't think you've hit your prime yet.
I think the same. I don't even think I've hit my prime at all.
Yeah. I think you're doing amazing, and the shit is popping, and your trajectory is going this way.
Yeah.
But your prime is when you get that 1 million view plaque, or that 1 million subscriber plaque. I mean,
100%.
When you get the gold plaque,
when I get the gold one,
it's gonna be like, and I'm just giving predictions, and a lot of time my predictions are right.
Yeah,
you'll get that gold plaque, and then like the 2nd million and the 3rd million and 4th million is just gonna.
It comes way easier. Like that first 100 subscribers is the hardest thing.
Yeah,
I think you know this too. Once you hit that first 100,000, things become so quick. It took me 4 years to get to 100K. And then it took me like another 2 to get, or it took me another less than a year to get to 200.
That's what I'm saying.
Like 5 months.
So once you hit 1 million, within 2 years, you'll have 10.
It's just going to keep multiplying,
you know what I'm saying? And then when we're having our conversation again, you'll be like, I think I might have almost hit my peak, because your peak's going to be somewhere else mentally. We'll already like from the outside, it'll be like, yo, bro, you passed your peak, bro. You're going crazy. But you're going to have different goals.
Yeah.
Right? And you're going to be like, nah, bro, there's something else that I want. And it might even not be YouTube related.
Yeah. Eventually, there's going to be a time where I wake up and I say, yo, I don't want to make videos anymore. I don't know when that time will come. It'll probably be when like I've done it all.
Yeah.
Because I used to have the thought process of like, I did it all. Like I've done it all. Like, you know what I mean? My dream was to get to like 100K subscribers. Once I did that, I was like, okay, I can die happy. But now I feel like I have more of a, I don't know when it came, but like now I just want to be number one. You know what I mean?
Your goals got bigger, bro.
My goals just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now I just want to be the number one thing. So like, yeah, man, YouTube is really, it's going in a, you know, I think the direction that it's going in is good and bad, because you're going down this commercial route of like high production, take your time, quality stuff, right? People want to see quality. They don't want to see you just, you know, they don't want to see these videos where you're just like fooling around, you know?
Yeah.
Like the days of you just like having a phone and like recording your dog. Those days are over.
Yeah.
Like, you know that, right?
Yeah,
Me and you know that. Like nobody wants to watch you reporting your dog. Like back in
it's
like
not
2000,
engaging.
back in like 2008, okay. 2009, okay.
Yeah.
People will watch that. But like nowadays, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
Especially on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe on Instagram, but not on YouTube, right? So like the game is being like elevated. You have to keep up with the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And from what I see, like it's going to become a very commercialized platform. And that's a good thing because that's going to make everybody more competitive and make more quality content.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, YouTube was made from the start as like a competitor, like not a competitor, but like an alternative, because now it's not like television.
Yeah, we can make it. We can make the content.
Yeah.
The audience can make the content.
You can watch, like what made YouTube so great was, and why it killed television was because now you can just type in what you want to watch.
Yeah.
Before it's like you have to turn on TV and find what you want to watch.
Yeah.
Right? And on TV, everything is structured, scripted, all of these things. On YouTube, now you have just real people just doing real shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that authenticity is what made YouTube really popular and what made people be like, okay, I like this. Because it's not like television. It's not like a late night show.
Yeah.
You know, this is not like a Stephen Colbert late night show that we're having here.
Yeah,
This is a conversation that, like an intellectual conversation that we're having.
Yeah.
Right? And we're just talking about whatever we want and we don't give a fuck about what anyone else thinks.
Mm-hmm.
If this is television, you can't say certain things.
Yeah.
There's literally laws that you can't say certain things.
Yeah, and you have time limitations. You could be like, no, you got segments, commercials, all type of bullshit.
All types of stuff. So that is what made YouTube very popular. And I fear because it's slowly losing that every single day.
Mm.
And so I fear that eventually people are just going to like not like it one day. It's very hard to think, but it might lose a lot of market share and it might lose a lot of users.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that it's like, yo, this just feels like TV now.
Yeah.
And it's up to people to like want to like it, like the whole commercial thing, or to like the whole authenticity thing. Because, you know, the internet works in stages.
Mm-hmm.
One day there might be a stage where people just like that underground, low quality feel again of videos, you know? Instead of not like right now we're in the hyper production era.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe 10 years from now, people might like that old school
They might
stuff.
go back, yeah.
And so like that might kill, like that might be the thing. And so that might kill. So you don't really know. Like, you know, it's a double-edged sword. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. I think
future.
I think it's something, and we'll close this year,
Mhm.
right? I think it's something that we just, as creators, have to keep our eye on what the trend is
Mhm.
and how content is being distributed,
Mhm.
and just keep on adapting, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because we can answer that question and be wrong of what happens 5-10 years from now,
Yeah.
right? And then because we're predicting these different things that are going to happen in the future,
Yeah.
we're like, this is what is going to happen, and then like, we should just keep our eye on what's happening in front of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, type shit.
Yeah. But listen, man, I think we got a good conversation here. We got
hit
to
everything?
know, bro.
We have
got
more than everything, right?
Yeah, man, and we got to know Captain, your true captain.
Yeah.
Right. We got to know about the upbringing. We got to know about your thoughts on things, bro.
Mhm.
And we're you know, we got to pick your brain on what, you know, you think about this YouTube game, because I think a lot of people are gonna go to this conversation to get some of these jewels. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah,
man.
100%, bro. And like a lot of, and this is, I want to end off with this too. Like
Mhm.
a lot of people will like wanna. It's a very monetized society.
Mhm.
A lot of people are gonna charge you money for the gems, like, you know what I mean, for like just to know how, basically like just how to make money like on the internet and how to turn your art and monetize your art. You know what I mean? People will make courses, people will do all these things. I'm the type of person that's just like, I know what I came from. Like I didn't have anybody really helping me. That's why when I started my content career, that's why when I see especially like a young kid
Mhm.
who's really bright, like I'll always take him under my wing, because I know what it feels like to just have nobody and just have to kind of get through this content game, get through the mud of this content game. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, to all the future like creators, like who are inspired to become like whether you're streaming, whether you're making music, whether you're just doing TikToks, whatever kind of content that you make, understand that you need to be passionate about it, make your own lane in it, and understand the scalability of what you want. You know, I stopped making anime videos and gaming videos because I realized I wanted to be number one day.
Yeah.
That shit will never get me to number one. Like, respectfully.
Yeah.
I had to really adapt myself to become what I am now, right? And without doing that, and without properly assessing yourself like that, you won't get to the heights that you really want to get. So use that as a gem and use that as like kind of inspiration. Especially within Toronto, because I know the majority of people in Toronto watch this page. I want to see like way more creators in the city, man. And I hope, I really do hope like this inspires somebody to really like pick up the mic and pick up the camera. You know what I mean? Especially if you're like, especially if you're one of these kids who are like in a low income area and you're thinking about picking up a gun instead of picking up a camera, bro. Like the answer is so much easier. Like, you know what I mean? And I hope this really inspires somebody to really, you know, take a leap of faith and really just chase what you want, because that's what I did. We're the same. That's what I did.
Yeah.
So I really want to see Toronto really prosper, like in the content game in the next 4 years. I know we will, because we already have some great guys. But I feel like in the next 4 or 5 years, I really want to see like us really prosper in the content game. So
I think with people like yourself, you know, I see guys like Showtime, all these different guys who are really blowing up outside of the Toronto bubble. Yeah. And this conversation is going to be important to the people who are watching this. I appreciate you because you're going to be you're continuing to be an inspiration to the people out there, man. Yeah. And keep doing what you're doing, brother.
You guys keep doing what you're doing as well.
Appreciate
you, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Yo, man. There we have it, man. Your true captain in the building.
Yes,
before I get out of here, let me give a quick salute to the sponsors. Big salute to Diamond Club. Hit them up on their Instagram page, Diamond Club _Canada. Big salute to Steamin' Hot Grabba. Hit them up on their Instagram page, Steamin' Hot Grabba. And big salute to Only Loud. Hit them up on their Instagram page, Only Loud Canada. Your true captain in the building.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me, sir.
We are off of this. Deuces.
We love hip hop.